crisis right now, like not really an adult crisis, but I've been buying, I've been buying flavored like seltzer water, right? So it's just it's got the little hints, and everyone's giving me shit for it. Does anyone here drink? Like no calorie, just kind of infused, like
So like
seltzer
carbonated water with
carbonated water. Yeah. Does
Okay.
anybody here?
No.
Does anybody here like that, or do you all? Think
Well, I don't
my buddy
dislike
does
it,
that.
but
I just
I
drink
can't
straight
decide
up water.
if I can't decide if I like it or not, though. Like I don't know if it's like an acquired taste, but I bought like 2 cases, and I'm just forcing myself.
I think you're
to
just
drink
like,
it.
is it something to where you want that feel of soda, but you are trying
Exactly.
to not get onto
Yeah.
soda? So
what
just
did
go
you
with
buy?
seltzer
What
water?
did you
Yeah.
buy?
That's what
So
my buddy does. He does
this
that.
one's
He's trying to give up soda.
Yeah, this is a cherry lime LaCroix, I think.
What's the
CR.
brand?
It's the LaCroix, actually.
LaCroix,
It's-
sorry, LaCroix. And Nick was giving me so much shit about it the other day. He was like, dude, he's like, this is disgusting. And I was like, I kind of agree, but I like that it has the burn to it. But I don't know.
Fucking garbage!
Did you
It's
get
not garbage. It's not that bad, Nick. I don't know. See, he really hates it, but I bought it all, and I need to drink it now. I have honestly still probably 12 or
You just
16
want
of
the
them.
the
It's the
feeling of
carbonation.
soda.
Yeah, and I don't.
Well,
I don't
just
hate
drink
it.
just drink like club soda and put vodka in it, and then it doesn't matter anymore.
Put vodka.
Then life
Just get
stay
drunk,
on.
and then you won't think about soda.
And you won't think about soda, you just think about Wendy's.
Yeah.
Just think about your sad life.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I think the
I
jury's still out.
Wendy's.
I
I don't
my,
think anybody's here right now.
I think my palate may develop.
Just
to the
drink a
point.
Coke, you pussy, says K9.
Son of a bitch.
I drank like an entire 2-liter of Euphoric Dew over the last 3 days.
Oh god.
Well, there you go.
I have too much coffee to also have soda. I have to.
Yeah, that's-
It's got to
Yeah.
be
Where
one
I
or
am.
the
I
other.
don't drink soda.
You can
I
drink
soda.
caffeine-free soda, or do you put a lot of sugar in your coffee too? Is it like the same?
I
Oh.
put so I drink coffee black with 2 teaspoons of sugar whenever
Oh,
I
okay. Yeah.
So
drink
the
coffee at
reason
home.
the reason Nick isn't on the podcast is people ask every week. Nick is taking a hiatus from all this stuff and
Yeah.
from gaming really in general. So
Yep.
there you go. Cyphus, thank you for
Cyphus.
subscribing.
He also just hates everyone.
Yeah, he also is
What
very
is he
hateful.
filling his time with?
I don't know.
parties,
Zoot?
you know,
Masturbation?
music.
Listen,
Zoot.
we're in LA, Lindsay. It depends on the night, Sometimes orgy, sometimes music, sometimes
That's why I
Mas-
left. That's why I left,
masturbation.
'cause You guys
Yeah.
are freaks.
I know. We're a little nutty. We're a little nutty. Gets
All
weird.
right.
But-
When you
Let me
get to
check.
Sometimes I
Alice,
wake
you
up.
gotta masturbate
Sometimes I
until
wake
your
up
hand
and
gets
Scott's
calloused.
between me and my wife, and
You don't even know how I got there. Yeah. No.
there's like this sticky substance or something. I don't know what it is. I haven't figured it out yet, but it keeps showing up.
Someone's asking what my opinion is on Sangria or Sangria to Blast. I like it. I still prefer the original Baja Blast, but I fuck with the Sangria to Blast.
I fuck with it.
I fuck with it. It's okay. I like mixing the
Fuckwittable.
two. I like a little bit of maybe a little bit of the Sangria Blast in there, just a bit, and then mostly regular Baja. Anyway, sorry.
Anyway.
The old Baja
Just a
Blast.
thought. Just a thought.
All right.
All
We're
right. Yeah,
gonna
we
get-
hit 7:30. We
this
can get
rolling
rolling
here.
Yep.
Alrighty. Let me get this
What's
started.
my keyboard thud during that little precast?
Do it again. I don't know.
Just type.
Type.
This is what I'd basically be
Yeah,
doing.
that's too loud.
It's a little bit loud.
Just straight up.
All right, good. Well, that's what I want to know now.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna get this started. Scott, what I have to do now before we get started, I have to actually just render out an MP3 and put it in Dropbox
Oh, really?
because Pamela's just dead.
So how are you recording it? You're just actually.
Well, I
recording
locally
video?
record the video and then
Okay.
I'll just render it into an MP3 from Vegas, which only
Okay.
takes like 5 minutes. But yeah, that's what I have to do.
You don't even have to. I found actually it's up
Oh,
to
if
you.
you can do it
have
directly,
to.
do it directly.
You don't have to do that because
It's
I
much
found something that
easier.
actually downloads like the full VOD and not in parts now, so I can
Good.
get it. Yeah.
All
don't worry
right,
about it.
sweet. Okay, get this started here. Let me get the time. All right, welcome to episode 174 of the podcast, brought to you this week by CadeMod.com. Of course, go check out the website. We actually had a shitload of content over the last 2 weeks. A couple of reviews, some good articles. X put his quote unquote scaled down staff station on there, which still has 6 monitors after it's scaled down because he's a nut. So you can go check that out on CadeMod.com. Check out the forums, the servers, everything on there. Also, multi-stream, of course, the best way to watch multiple Twitch streams. Check it out, CadeMod.com/multi-stream. is much better than multi-Twitch or the other.
It is
options
so
out
much
there.
better. It's not even close.
So definitely go check that out. And that site is, of course, mainly sponsored by Philip and the boys over at PC Part
Way to
Picker.
suck your own dicks.
That's right. Well, more we're sucking Sean's dick.
Yeah, let's do that.
Sponsored by PCPartPicker.com, the best way to make out a shopping list for a PC or to get comparisons on prices and alerts on prices and those kind of things for PC parts. Go check it out if you haven't. We have 2 new sponsors this week because we are now a Gunner Optics affiliate, so you can check out the link below the stream. If you want to buy some gunners, I use them so I don't get headaches anymore. When I sit in front of screens a lot, of course I do, from streaming and gaming and everything else that I do. So go check it out. You can support us and also get some gunners through that link. And Game Fan Shop, which we've had for a long time, but we kind of let go because we just didn't have any time. But Tim is taking over administration of that. So if you need some games, they are Steam keys. Check out Game Fan Shop below the stream. They are legit, totally good. Some of those places that I've seen streamers have aren't necessarily the most legit thing, but Game Fan Shop we've never had a problem with. So we'll be posting different sales that they have and things like that. So you can check out those links below the stream. And that is it.
Awesome. Beautiful. Thank you for that.
Yes, we
Cam.
deserve applause for that.
Absolutely.
Getting through that without a hitch.
That was good. New sponsor hype, guys. All right, guys. Welcome to episode 174 of the KB Mod Podcast. The date is January 25th, 2015. And guys, I can't believe we're on episode 174. It's a weird number to be shocked by, but I love to be shocked. We have a unique. I love the shocker. Wait, that's different, right? What's the
Wait,
shocker?
no, that's
Is that
No.
3 fingers or is that the one in the? What is the?
it
shocker?
is. Well, it's
forget.
It's all relative.
it's yeah. I mean, it's wherever the fingers go, really. But
Is the
know.
shocker? Okay, well,
Yeah.
I was getting confused.
It's really just a baseline. You have creative freedom to make it whatever you want.
Okay.
creative freedom. I've seen some artists take up the shocker, do some crazy shit with it.
Some interpretive shit.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
interpretive
Yeah.
shocking.
It's good to know. We've got a unique cast. We've got Sham on. We've got Lynn's Washburn on. We've got Nikon on. Obviously, a lot of the KB Mod regulars are at PAX or traveling back from PAX South. So we've got a fun cast this week, guys. What we've been doing on the podcast before we jump into like what we've actually been gaming, which we always start out with, is did anyone have anything fun or interesting happening to them this week? It's like a little bit of a life show and tell. Brandon's best one so far was that he went to a flea market one week, and we still every week we ask him if he went.
It's been
to one,
like
but we
6
haven't had-
months.
I
We're
actually
waiting.
watched that one where he said he went to a flea market, and then I'm sitting there thinking like, oh, which one? I want to go. I gotta check that out.
Yeah, yeah.
I saw
Well, that
it.
makes more sense for you to want to check out a flea market. I don't see Brandon as much, but who knows? You know, we don't want to put people.
You've
in
never
a
been
box.
to a nice flea market, Scott?
I don't. Maybe I haven't.
Or like
I
a
just don't
swap
think I've-
meet or a trading post, whatever they will like to call them, you know. There's
don't
several
really-
names for these things.
Seeing
Somehow.
lots of fake products. That's always good.
But flea market aside, does anybody have anything fun?
I mean,
I-
go ahead.
Real
Mike.
life shit,
Yeah.
like
I
IRL.
want to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
I'll go last.
IRL. Yeah, anybody. Just go.
Yeah.
Freedom.
Well,
All right.
I had one. It's somewhat serious, so I want Dan to go if you're gonna go.
Okay, I'll go. I've been home alone since Tuesday, and that's been weird.
Yeah.
Let me
'cause-
guess. You set up a bunch of traps just in case a couple of burglars decided to come by.
Yes,
and
yeah. There's
try to-
paint cans
try to take your
dangling from
stuff.
my staircase. I have a heater on the front doorknob.
Home
The
Alone.
classics, the classics.
Home
Yeah.
Alone, the Pittsburgh Caper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan.
Home
So
Alone 4.
so everything was going swimmingly. I was eating like horribly and
Yeah.
streaming whenever I wanted. It was going really well. Megan is down at PAX South. She's actually down there for her actual job, but she just happened to be going to San Antonio for her actual job at the same time as PAX South. So she's been doing a lot of stuff with that. But anyway, one night on Friday, I had the kids have been staying up with grandma, which is just a block up the street. So my son came back down. He was gonna we were gonna watch some movies, get pizza, and then he was gonna stay here on Friday. And then he decided after the movie he did want to go back up to grandma's to go to sleep because the house is so empty. It's a little freaky actually when you're never alone in the house, and then you are, even though it's like a small house, but it's still a little freaky. So when he opened the door, my dog Gino got out.
Oh no.
And when he gets out, the good thing about when he gets out is he always goes to the same place. He always goes up to grandma's house and just hangs on the porch. Like he just goes up there. He
That's
doesn't
like
like
his
run.
internal compass is to grandma's house. Like to
Yeah.
grandma's house we
That's
go.
his
The
north
grandma's
star.
house we go.
So the problem is though, is up the hill by my house is a very busy intersection, and he went through the intersection this time, and I'm like running outside, and I have the other dog with me because I was just gonna walk her up with me while I walked him back up the street. So and I hear the sound of him getting hit by a car.
Ooh.
So I hear it happen. And then I see him running full bore back down the hill to me.
Oh.
So someone hit him like going like, you know, like they had just started from the stop sign and like they weren't going, they said they
weren't going.
they
too
hit
fast.
him, like they ran down the street after him. They were like, we hit him and he like rolled twice and then just ran full bore back down the hill.
Wow.
And so I grab him by the collar. I don't have two leashes. So I grab him by the collar and I'm like walking with my son and both dogs, one dog on a leash. So I tried to switch the leash to him because he's much bigger. Olive's like 20 pounds. I can carry her and be fine.
Yeah.
So I tried to switch and she got away
Oh no.
while I was trying
no.
to switch them and ran. And when she runs, she just goes. She doesn't care. So she just runs everywhere. She ended up staying around the area and I actually ended up getting them both back. But it was fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
And Gino, like, I kept checking him over, like, rubbing his legs and rubbing his ribs to see
Yeah.
if there's anything wrong with him. Like, but apparently he's a tank. So
Yeah.
nothing happened to
I
the
can
car.
see that makes
So-
sense. Like knowing, like having seen Gino a couple times now and hung around him, this seems exactly like what he would do. He'd just
Yeah.
get up and run the other
Bouncy.
direction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he like because I was like, oh, I wasn't actually that concerned when he ran because I was like, I know where he's gonna be, like 'cause he's always at the same spot. And then and then I heard the hit and I was like, I didn't register with me right away though that he had been hit. And I just saw him running straight back down full bore, and I was like,
Wow.
he is terrified right now. So,
Yeah. Well, that's good.
but-
I mean, there you go. He walked away from getting hit by a car.
yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
Gino.
So that would have
Mini
been a
heart
really
attack,
bad
though.
week.
Yeah, that would have been a
happened,
rough week
but,
if that
yeah.
didn't go better.
Gino is out of his mind. I've never met a dog that behaves like he does. He's just so fucking crazy.
Yeah, he's a nut job, but I love him.
He's just so excited to see people. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
aren't that exciting. They really aren't. But Gino loves it.
Mark, you need some Gino childlike wonder in your life, dude, and then
Yeah,
everybody
yes,
will
I
be
do.
excited.
See
for
the
you.
world through the perspective of a dog for once in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be
So,
great.
Hutchinson 15, thank you for subscribing.
Brad.
So yeah, I so I've been home alone and just kind of chilling out. Kind of been real not stressful at all, which has been awesome. So
Yeah, that's good.
nothing going on.
Yeah.
But
Very cool. Well, yeah, as a married father, I'm sure there's not much. That doesn't happen very often where there's
not a
no
lot of downtime now.
Yeah, exactly. So
Dan's downtime just sounds like my everyday.
yeah,
Like just
exactly.
eating
Me too.
whatever and
Do whatever
streaming.
I want. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's go. Anybody else?
I haven't really done anything because I've mostly been streaming. But yesterday I did get day drunk on mimosas.
Oh,
That
There you go.
was the
I haven't done that.
highlight.
I haven't done that in a
It's
while.
not a bad thing.
How many
was
mimosas
it.
did you have?
Bottle and a half champagne worth.
Okay.
All right.
Very
Nice.
nice. Very nice.
Yeah, I was.
I don't
done.
know if I've ever been day drunk.
Oh, day
Really?
drunk is the best. Come on.
Oh, you
Yeah.
should try it. Yeah, it's a good
then
time.
you
been-
pass
I've
out
been
at a
buzzed,
decent
but not-
hour.
Not like fucking.
Listen to the terrible influences in here. Like you've got
Yeah, that's great.
underage people watching and listening to this podcast.
If you're of age,
You're
if of
suggesting that
age.
they go and get bottomless mimosas from somewhere. And just
You
start
wanted
out
to
their day crisp in the morning, plastered. That's what you want them to do.
If you're
Whoa.
legal, all right. But I'm not the one who's trying to title my podcast pre-cumcast. Okay, guys.
Yes, she has a point.
There's some maturity.
She also didn't clickbait with Gooch Cheese Op or whatever your title of your stream was today. So,
Cheese.
or whatever. So good.
Wine. You can have wine with your goose cheese. Wine and goose cheese.
That's true. Yeah, Gooch cheese could actually be something if Gooch wasn't.
It's
what
heavily
it is.
fermented, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. Could be good. I'll go, and then Nikon, or Mark, do you have anything that you want to
Yeah.
share?
Mine's somewhat serious, but I'll just
Or? Okay.
go.
Yeah.
I actually went to a funeral on Friday, which was kind of rough for me because it was my dad's best friend who died. But what made it rough was 10 years ago, basically. Yeah, just about 10 years ago, my dad got shot when he was at work
Mhm.
with a shotgun, and he was taking out the garbage or whatever. He worked at a bar, and he was the doorman or whatever. And he was actually taking out some cardboard, and the cardboard ended up saving his life. But after the guy got the first shot off, he like fell on my dad, and they were like wrestling.
Mhm.
But Donnie, the guy who died, came out and actually like wrestled the dude off of him and like, saved his life. So it was
Dang.
rough because I just brought all that back. But it was
Yeah.
kind of cool, like being able to be there. My dad was like super happy. I was like, the dude saved your life. I owed it to him to like come say goodbye. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
For
That's
sure.
good to be able to do that and be there and do that kind of thing. Definitely.
Yeah.
Even though it brings back a lot of that kind of stuff, it's good to be able to like say goodbye like that.
yeah,
For sure.
I
Definitely.
cried like I'm not gonna lie, I cried like a baby because
Yeah.
it was heavy. But
Yeah.
anyway, back to dicks.
Back to Dex.
Yeah, let's go. Come on, hurry.
You can't drop a story like that and then just go back to Dex.
That's fine, dicks. More
right.
air horns than dicks.
Oh, God, yeah. Listen, we don't have to bury our emotions
Oh,
with
they're
air horns and dicks.
Oh, no.
I don't want to feel anything. Just air
Bible
horns and
thumps rampant in the chat room.
I
so many Bible
know.
thumps.
Oh no.
Mark, Sham, did you have anything this week that you wanted to share? That was
I
exciting.
don't know. I don't do anything exciting. I mean, so
It's all in the
so
eye of the
recently-
beholder, Shem.
So recently, I've been trying to go out more and just be more active because I sit at my computer a lot. So I just try to find things for Allison and I to do around Los Angeles because even though we've lived here for a couple of years, we haven't seen most of the city in general. So she's been like on a quest to get all of the books and comics for World of Warcraft. So I figured that we would do it organically by like going to local comic book shops and bookstores. So we've just been scouting them out and then going to the local area and eating at different places. That's all we're doing. We're just exploring the city at the
Like
moment.
the most nerdy active thing that you could pick to
Absolutely.
do.
Yeah.
We walk.
We gotta get out more.
Looking
Should we
at
go to some
shops.
comic book stores? Yeah, let's do that. let's go get our
Fuck
get our
hiking. I don't
steps
want a
in.
treadmill.
Go get our comic book steps in.
Yeah, just trying out coffee shops and different restaurants and things like
awesome.
that. But it's nice because we want to move to Pittsburgh at some point, so we're just trying to get the most out of the city while we're still here. So we just keep going and exploring different areas.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
That's cool. All right. And then I'll go real quick, and then we can actually talk about what we've been playing gaming-wise. But I went to BaseCon Wasteland, which was a hard-style show. But the reason I want
That's
to talk
all
about
it
it
takes.
is, it was really fun.
Holy
but
shit.
So Joel's obviously in America now, and he's got his apartment. So he came with us, and my friend Corey or C. Wallace came with us, and obviously Nick was there, and Sark was there. A lot of people were there, and we were all like at one point, we were all just kind of looking at each other. And we're like, like we all of us met basically like online, and it was just like it was one of those things. And we all hang out, we're really good friends, and it was just and same thing even with the KB Mod stuff with you guys. It's like the same kind of thing. I was just thinking how different it is now. Like I think maybe 10 years ago to be like, yeah, man, like almost
yeah.
all my friends or like I met online would have been a weird thing. And now it just feels totally like it's just a thing. It's just normal. But anyway, I just thought that was really cool. But yeah, the event was really fun. But yeah, guys, I just like to say that like
No, I absolutely agree. It's the weirdest thing ever. I moved fucking from LA to San Francisco
Yeah.
only because I knew a bunch of people that I had met online. And now all my
Yeah,
friends
same.
are people
Yep.
that I met online.
exactly.
I love it.
No,
Like,
exactly the
I-
same. I know.
I remember like 10 years ago hearing about a couple that I didn't know close, but enough that I heard the news that they got married and like they met each other online. And
Yeah.
even though I was super into like Counter-Strike and all that kind of stuff back in the day, I was still like, I don't know, that's kind of weird. But nowadays it's just like, no, that sounds whatever. You want to go meet your friend you met on while playing WoW? Sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
There you go, son. Have fun.
That's what
There
you're
you
gonna
go.
say
Here's
to
a
your son.
20.
That's how I
Viral
meet
Sosa.
everybody these days. Pretty much everybody. I think
Yeah.
everybody that I know and am friends with right now. I can't think of a single person that I met just walking around and running into somebody. It had to be like through a video game or something.
Yeah,
At this
pretty
point,
crazy.
yeah. I mean, even my wife.
True.
So that's the biggest one.
Yeah. I know I'm bigger, but you can't say that because she's listening.
Oh yeah, sure.
It's
sure.
okay, Sham.
No, it's cool.
Scott, you fulfill me in ways that nobody could.
I know. Thank you, Sham. I'm so glad you finally said that to me. I've been waiting for that for a while. All right, well, let's talk about what we've been playing this week. We'll just go. Let's start with Dan, and then we'll go to the right, just on my screen.
I played some WoW. I also played some Super Galaxy Squadron, which is the
I
New
need to check
Bloods
that out.
first game. It is a shmup, which for those who don't know what that means, shoot 'em up.
Sounds like
What are you calling me? You
Sounds like
asshole.
a racist slur.
It's a shoot 'em up like Ikaruga
Oh,
or
okay.
Jamestown or Bullet Hell,
Actually,
basically.
I'm gonna buy that game right now.
It's like $7, I think so. I think the initial offer is over, but the reason you should buy it, it's also a pretty good game. But the reason you should buy it is because
It just
everything
sounds-
goes to charity from the sales. So everything goes to Child's Play. So definitely go support that game and check it out.
It's not complete garbage. Go buy it.
No, it's definitely not complete garbage. It's actually super fun and really hard. Really, really hard. At least I found it hard. It's different than most of those types of games because you can actually get health back during it. You don't die from one hit, which is usually what the MO is in those games. It's just you have to avoid the bullet hell and not get hit. But definitely check it out on Steam, Super Galaxy Squadron. It's got really good art. The music is godlike in it. So, yeah.
That's cool. And so all proceeds, like all proceeds,
All
go
proceeds,
to Child's Play?
100%
Okay, wow.
go to Child's Play.
Huh.
So,
What's it called again?
That's really
It's
good.
called Super Galaxy Squadron.
All right.
So,
I heard about that.
I'm not seeing on the top sellers thing, so let's get on that.
yeah, it was first day, which was really
Okay.
crazy. They were not expecting that. So yeah, I played that. I also beat Dark Souls again.
Nice.
How many
Uploaded.
times have you beaten it now?
5 or 6, but I'm gonna do it like every January, I think.
Yeah,
At least as long as I'm doing this. And so I
Yeah.
finally got deep into New Game Plus with that as well. I forgot how hard things destroy you in New Game Plus, even though you destroy them equally as bad because your weapons are so ridiculous at that point. But it just
Still
took
have
me
not
like
done that.
took me like 3 nights to kill Gwyn this time. Like 5 hours of Gwyn attempts. Gwyn is the last boss. He's not that. I mean, he's pretty hard. He's probably the hardest boss in the game. Besides, especially for someone who can't parry that well. But I didn't think he would take me 5 hours, man. I actually one night I just kind of was just like, "Fuck this! I'm just not. I'm gonna leave this." I'm gonna leave this for a couple nights and come back to it.
I like the idea that it still kicks your ass whenever you've beaten it 5 or
Yeah.
6 times, just because it's on New Game Plus. It's still giving you rough
Yeah,
patches.
I kept saying to myself, I was like, how did I beat this guy the first time? I was like trying to remember what the strategy was that I used because I could not remember how I beat the game.
That's why I love Dark Souls. Is like it's never easy.
No,
And even like most games like that, where like if you're playing a Final Fantasy or something, and you roll through like the first area, you sneeze and everyone just dies because you're just so big.
Yeah.
Dark Souls, you still have to be careful because if you get cocky,
Yep.
you will still die.
So yeah, like Four Kings, which is one of the end bosses. You can on New Game in Four Kings, you can just put on the heaviest armor if you get it, if you manage to find it, because again, it's Dark Souls, so they don't tell you where anything is. If you get the heaviest armor in the game, you can just go there and sit in front of them and get hit the whole time and just destroy them because you can just tank them at that point. But on New Game Plus, they hit so hard you can't do that. So you actually have to avoid damage and stuff, and it gets a lot harder. That's where I left off last time I played through New Game Plus was Four Kings. But that was super fun. Also got to play. We did a community night of Trackmania Stadium on
Nice.
Monday.
I haven't
you
played
haven't-
that in a while.
Yeah, that game is so fun still. Like, the tracks are all completely insane, of course. Like,
Yeah.
And I played a lot of Isaac this week. I've been doing Eden runs. Eden is a really fun character. Well, I should classify that. Eden can be a really fun character to play. So Eden is completely random. when you start with Eden. You get 2 items and a trinket, and then random stats when you start. So you could get completely screwed, which it did. And you can only play Eden by using tokens, and you can only get tokens by beating the game. So, yeah, but it's super fun to do. I think it's the most fun thing to do in Rebirth, to play as Eden, because you can get some insane combos to start the
Oh.
game. So
How far do you have to get get the token? Do you have to like beat Isaac or one
I
of the
think-
final things?
I think
Or-
it lives. I think you have to kill it lives
Okay.
when you get it, but I'm not totally sure.
Apparently I froze.
Yeah, you did for a minute. Yeah, your cam went. You were frozen
There you
in mid smile.
Rip in peace. Put that up on my gravestone.
It's really grainy. I don't know if you want. You could get probably a better photo of you.
But yeah. So that was actually about it. I think I have
Okay.
much else.
Sweet. Mark. Sorry, Sham Mark. Hit me.
Well, CS:GO is the usual thing. I've put
Yeah.
40 to 50 hours every couple of weeks into it. I actually got DMG last night, and then I
Yes,
lost
you
it
did.
today.
Oh, yeah.
I lost. I
Welcome to
got
Ranked
it last
CS:GO.
night. Lost 2 games, 2
Mhm.
games, and I lost the badge. I
Yeah.
don't know if it was because of those 2 games or if there was the game that I got DMG on. There was a very suspicious character on our team.
Might have been
I don't
cheating.
know if it like nullified our win because he was found to be a cheater or something. I'm not sure, but he was pretty. Let's just say he got some shots that didn't make any sense. So I'm back down to double AK, which is fine. It's whatever. I don't care about my rank. The only thing that I want to do is just beat Scott back to where he was because he lost his Eagle and went to
Yeah.
DMG. So I thought, what if I get Eagle before Scott? I can make him feel really
Listen.
sad.
If you get Eagle before me, I will hang myself on street. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's very possible that you. I mean, actually, no. If I got it this week, I'm gonna try to grind out a bunch of ranked. But, dude, you think
Mhm.
losing DMG is easy? Losing Eagle, I don't know. I feel like
Yeah, I'm sure.
it's so fast.
I'm just surprised that I
games, I'll
lost
lose
it
it.
after 2 games. That
Yeah.
I was so surprised by that, but it's whatever. I'm sure I'll get it back pretty easily. Like we've been playing the dumbest maps like in the Vanguard collection and winning on them because nobody knows them. And
It's a good strategy, I should
that's
say.
pretty much where I've gotten my ranks from is playing shit like Workout and Back Alley, and we know those maps so well now. And when you go on there, everybody's like, "Well, what the fuck is going on here?" And I'm just thinking, like, why do you even queue for it then? I don't understand. But
'Cause
they
you want your
basically just give us
missions,
free
dog.
wins.
You want
Yeah,
your
I guess
missions.
that's the only reason I would assume. But really, the good skins are on maps like Cobblestone will give you chances at Dragon Lore. Everything else is pretty wash. I don't know. And then you've got like the smallest possible chance of even getting something that's like mil-spec. You're gonna get shitty skins from the missions. I've never gotten anything above like the lowest grade, whatever that
yeah,
is.
I never get anything good either.
Yeah, case drops are like the only reason I can see to do it because at least you can sell those for more than those skins will get you. But
Yeah.
it's not worth it to play on some of those maps just to hope for some shitty drop that's never going to happen. But other than Counter-Strike, I tried out that new arena shooter that came out in early access called Toxic.
Hmm.
How
And
is it?
it's actually very, very competent, runs perfectly. I had no optimization issues. The only problem is that they released it with all of the base gameplay there, but they are lacking severely in content. There's only one map, and you can only play deathmatch or team deathmatch on it. And from what I've seen in screenshots and information about the game, there's modes with vehicles and stuff. Like there's a lot that hasn't even been shown yet. I think that they're just starting out slow and like rolling it out. They say that their early access is going to be 4 to 6 months or something like that. So they'll have to do it pretty quickly. But I mean, at least the base game there, the shooting, the guns, they work fine. I really like the movement. It's not as fast as something like Quake, but it's enjoyable.
Fun.
I think it's worth putting time into. I mean, it's kind of expensive to get into right now for what it offers. I think it's $17, and you only get one map. So a lot of people aren't going to do that. But I sold a CS:GO skin and then bought it. So no skin off my back. But yeah, I would say that it's something to look out for if you're into arena shooters. It's pretty good, and there's no fluff from what I see. I don't think it's going to be like microtransactions or anything like that. I think it's just going to be buy once, play. I don't know if they plan on doing like DLC with money or anything like that. I haven't seen any of that information, but it looks pretty clean so far and lacking in the grossness that we see in a lot of AAA releases coming out lately, but I've also played Get Out of Hell, the Saints Row expansion. I played through, I think, about half of it. I only paid $5 for it, so the length of it is not really a concern to me, because GameStop was doing some pre-order deal where they only made you pay $5 for the thing when it's $20 normally.
Yeah.
But I think it's only like a 5, maybe 6 hour, depending on how many side missions or whatever you do. You know, just bullshitting around the city. Yeah. It's a little hit or miss. The biggest problem I have with Saints Row going into 3 and 4 was that they kind of waned down on some of the really interesting side missions and replaced them with ones that are really, really, really not interesting at all. And Saints Row is heavy on doing side missions. And when they're not interesting, then that's a big chunk of the gameplay that will probably bore you to sleep. And there are some really bad side missions in this one. I mean, there's one that it's nothing, but you get a melee weapon. You have these frat demons, and you're supposed to whack them into goals for points. That's all you do. Like, it tracks automatically. Like, if you smack one and you're looking at a post, it'll go there. Like, there's no skill involved. It's just do it as fast as you possibly can. There's only 3 of them, but they, you know, even 5 minutes of that shit. It kind of plays itself out too quickly. I mean, it's for $5, I can't complain. I mean, the base story and the shit, like the musical part of it, it's fucking great. Like, they have some really good ideas. They need to nail down some kind of idea around creating interesting gameplay around the ideas that they have of having dumb weapons and dumb vehicles and dumb characters and just dumb shit. They just need better missions and just overall gameplay around it if they ever decide to do a Saints Row 5 or whatever they want, because it's kind of gotten away from them. It really has.
They're just betting on the dumb over the top factor to be entertaining, and it
gets the over top entertainment. They are definitely depending on that. It's good, but it's still a game, and it's got to be interesting as one. And I mean, getting rid of things like Fuzz from Saints Row 2, one of my favorite fucking activities in a game. I mean, it's just a dumb side mission where you go around pretending like you're on the show Cops and killing people with different weapons that are dressed in dumb costumes. It's a pretty simple idea, but it had enough variety in it to where it was fun. So it's just things like that have just gotten away from them. I don't know what their plans are, but I don't know. I don't want another game to really give me what Saints Row 3 and Saints Row 4 gave me. I mean, there were some good things in there, but there was a lot of fluff that didn't really hold up to the standard that I was used to in something like Saints Row 2. It just didn't hold up at all. They just kind of fell off track. I don't know what it is. But I beat Wolfenstein recently.
Yes.
Finally, after buying that. Fantastic game. Loved it. I beat Ride to Hell Retribution.
God,
I have
you
yet
actually...
yet to do the DLC, but the main game I have finished.
That is commitment. Good Lord.
Wow. Yeah, dude, you did it. You were good to your word. Good Lord.
It took me 11 hours. That's all it took to beat that game. But that's a long 11 hours. I rage quit that game a lot. It would only take 45 minutes to an hour for me to rage quit. So it was a tough one to get through. It took me a few weeks, but I've done that now. So that's pretty much all I've gone through in the past week or two.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool. Wow, you played quite a bit, Mark. Get you.
I try, Scott. You know, I get variety in my life, unlike you.
Yeah, listen,
He's going to be on the podcast. He brings it, okay? He actually cares.
I play 2 games at a time. That's my max. I can't do more than 2. That's it. I don't have the mental capacity for it. Linz, go ahead. Tell me what you've been playing.
I just played H1Z1. That's all I've been playing.
And what do you think? What's your thoughts?
I actually really, really like it. Because like I liked the idea of DayZ, but the game
It's too complicated too, DayZ.
DayZ was just like really hard to play. You couldn't fucking even beat up zombies. It was just like
it's buggy. It's like
so unoptimized still.
Yeah, it was just like
runs.
so. It was just never a good experience. Every time I played, I couldn't really even get anything done. And H1Z1, it's obviously very, very early access right now, but I am having a great time, and it's all that I've been playing. And Rotendo, she's sort of been like my H1Z1 partner. We're always like, "What are you doing? You want to play H1Z1? Yeah, let's go. We'll play it." And And we've been playing on a PvE server. That's the other thing I like too. I like that you have an option. You have an option to play a PvE or you could play PvP. And we wanted to kind of learn the game and stuff without having to get killed over and over again at first.
Yeah.
So we've been playing on a PvE server and just like having a lot of fun and meeting really weird people. But it's been a lot of fun. And I know Nikon. We played a few times Nikon, and I've been just trying to tell everybody, I was like, come play with us. But it's all I've been playing. It's all I've been streaming, and I really like it a lot. And I'm really excited for like, how much more it can become because I'm already having a great time with it.
Okay, sweet.
I'll segue
Shout
off
out
that
to
because
Jimmy Whiz.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
for it.
no-
Go ahead, Nikon.
Yeah, we can talk
basic-
about some H1Z1.
Yeah, because that's all I've been basically playing is H1Z1. I think I played a little bit of Counter Strike, but that was really when the servers were down, so I didn't have a choice. So I'm like, well, I'm streaming. What else am I gonna do? But I really have been enjoying H1Z1. I mean, it is pay to win, obviously, but we can move past that. It's not pay to win.
Well, I mean,
at all.
I heard,
And it-
I heard that they immediately like changed some things, but I never looked into
Oh my
what exactly they did, and I've been looking for information. Like, do you know what they changed with the airdrops and stuff like that? I was just wondering what they
every
did
time-
differently.
Every time we've called in an airdrop, there was a good opportunity for someone else to come in and steal it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the stuff that was making people freak out initially, they patched like almost right away about like throwing down one and then like it landed at his feet. Like I've never seen that happen, and I've been playing since it came out.
Yeah, and I read that
Um,
there would be tons of guns in them, but I came across
No,
somebody
we've-
somebody who was near me, but not even that close, like threw and down, and so a bunch of us ran towards it, and we got there, and like a bunch of zombies just exploded out of it. We were like,
Oh,
this is the shittiest airdrop ever. It's like it could be some guns and maybe some food, but also there could be zombies in it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No,
But
but
I guess that
it's-
brings like a little bit of a balance to it.
It's so much fun though. I've put in over 30 hours into it. Actually, what am I at now?
I've got about.
I have 39 hours, and when it came out like 10 days ago.
Yeah.
So holy crap!
I keep watching streams of it, and it's so hard for me to pull the trigger on it because I have
I can't
bit on
decide.
so many survival games, not just MMO games
Yeah,
that are survival,
yeah.
but just survival in general. And I'm sick and tired of like playing unfinished ones, and they're getting
Here's the
Really
thing
waiting.
about this one. Is this one the core gameplay of it? Like the mechanics feel like it's
Yeah.
not early access. It doesn't feel like a beta. It feels
well,
really
yeah. The
good.
thing about the thing about H1Z1 that interested me was that it was one that actually looked like it ran properly, and the inventory system the UI looked clean
It
and
does. It
easy to
feels
navigate.
clean.
Crafting
and just
is really
as long
good.
as it runs at 30 frames a second,
Oh, I'm
that's
getting,
all
like,
I want.
I mean, I have a
Can't even get
980
that
and
with
stuff,
DayZ.
but
Uh-huh.
they've already patched it enough to where like it was running pretty shitty, and then I'm now getting like 80 average, and I'm
Yeah.
running it on ultra. So
Mhm.
if I run DayZ, which has been out forever, I'm still lucky to get like 30 FPS, and it still runs like garbage even on.
How are you running H1Z1 at 80 when I can't even like watch your video camera right now? You're like chopping up so bad. It's like
It's
"Wait, I'm
probably
getting
just my
ready
shitty
for
webcam."
fucking-" Yeah.
Yeah, you're in.
It's-
And you start sounding like a robot a little bit too.
Yeah, you might want to turn your cam off and see if that improves it, but I don't know. I don't know. You might be getting
The
bandwidth
shitty
issues.
production quality. Why do I even come
I'm
on this?
sorry.
Listen,
God damn it.
from the guy who even your clapping sounds roboty right now.
I
Are you telling me that those claps are not real, Scott? Are you telling me they're fake claps? He doesn't have an in-studio audience.
I know, Mark. I hate to bring it up like this, but yeah, I hate to do it. Oh, nice. Jimmy's in here.
Yeah,
Look at
Jimmy's hosting cast right now. Shout out. to
that. Had to
Jimmy.
come over and say Nikon that. Okay,
We're
he's
fighting
responding.
apparently.
We're fighting. Very cool. Well, Jimmy, it sounds like everyone's liking H1Z1, so I think
No,
you're
that's
you're
real
good.
good.
So
I'm not gonna lie, like most of this podcast I've also been like looking at recipes and stuff. Like I'm like at the H1Z1 wiki, like
Trying to figure
I'll
out.
pack it. I'm
And,
like, where do I get that? What is that? Oh, I gotta go find that. I'm gonna play it later
Yeah.
tonight.
Jimmy, you
It's
want to
real
send
good.
any Steam codes over for the game too? You know my email, brother.
Yeah,
I'm over
buddy.
here. All right, we out here. Yeah.
I already
all
tried
right.
that.
Did you already try? Yeah,
I
figured.
did.
Good stuff. All right, I'll go last year real quick, and then we can get to the news after an ad break. But I've been playing obviously Counter-Strike, not as much though. I've been really enjoying playing through some single player games that I either missed or played a long time ago. I beat Bully recently, which I really liked, and then keeping on the Rockstar kick, I got LA Noire
Nice.
on the PC. Tried
Investigate
to
the
unlock
shit
it.
out of
Tried to
stuff.
unlock it to 60 frames, but it kept crashing, so I just kept it at 30. And honestly,
Yeah,
it's
it's
really
not
not
worth
that
it.
big of a deal
Fine.
because
You have a
it's a very slow
972.
game.
It's not
exactly. It's actually really slow. I remember playing through it like on the Xbox 360 when it first came out, but I didn't really remember much about the cases or the story. Actually, playing through it this time is like I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. I remember liking it less than I actually am liking it this time around. Obviously, there's some issues with it here and there, but like still like the stuff they did with the facial and like mouth movements and all that kind of stuff is and the capping is really really good. And it's a fun stream game too because then everyone weighs in, right? Obviously with like the answers and stuff like that. So it's
Yeah,
pretty
that's what
fun.
I
I'm having
like.
fun playing with that. Yeah.
LA Noire is one of those really good streaming games where everybody can come up with their own bullshit about, you know, what happened during the investigation, just coming
Exactly.
up with who did what did they do it with. It's like an elaborate game of Clue that everybody can just kind of
Yeah.
weigh in on during in a chat. But yeah, some of the things that like annoy me with that game so much is how if you like you have a moment where you have to like present evidence to somebody
Yeah.
in order to counter them, and he'll like present one thing and then they'll get shut down, but then he doesn't present the other evidence. He just kind of gives up like he's the worst detective in the world. Someone's crushed his confidence and he has to go back and cry in a corner somewhere because he didn't get
Exactly.
the answer right the first time.
That's-
It's kind of silly.
That's like the biggest issue too, and some of like the not necessarily the logic leaps or things like so you'll find like if you find every clue and then you're investigating a suspect, you'll have so many things on them, and so, like so many times I just want to be like, I have the fucking murder weapon with blood on it in your house, but you're telling me because I didn't ask about where you were at 11 that I can't like I failed. Like I have the murder weapon, so there's some of that kind of stuff, but overall it's pretty good. And like you said, with people extrapolating on like where the case is going, like right now there's a couple things the chat always trolls me with. Like they want me to climb, they keep telling me that I need to climb a pipe, and there won't be a pipe there, so I'll run around for like 20 minutes, and they're like, it's at the top of the pipe, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then they'll troll me. The other thing is there's a case where you find a pig receipt in the back of a car, and there's a bunch of
Yeah.
blood. So it's gone into this thing where everyone thinks that this whole caper is based a pig that's running around and killing all these women and putting lipstick on them. And anyway, so yeah, it's a pretty interesting game, but I'm having fun with it. I'm trying to think other than that. Yeah, there's just those two. Trying to get back more into Counter Strike. Also playing we're playing an ESEA Open. We have a KB
Yeah.
mod team, as you know. So we're trying to rep. We're 2-2 right now. We'll see where it goes, but it's fun to be back playing competitively. Even though we're just basically showing up for matches every night, but
Yeah.
it's fun to be doing that again.
Yeah, where's the practice, Scott?
Yeah,
I don't
we're
see
not
you
really practicing. We're
getting
just-
together.
Because if you
Strat.
practice, then it shows that you actually care. If you just show up for matches and lose, you're like, we don't care. Like, we're not really
Just
trying.
run the cinnamon swirl hype every
yeah,
time.
the fucking cinnamon swirl. Yeah. All right, and that's it for me. Dan.
All right.
So
Nice.
So that is it for what we've been playing. We're going to take a 2-minute commercial break and then head into the news. If you don't want to see commercials on this channel anymore, consider subscribing. We are an old school sub, so it takes away the commercials on this channel. And we will be back in 2 minutes.
God, Orb just tweeted that his landlord told him that they don't have FiOS, but he got a thing that says you are a guaranteed FiOS address in the mail after he just got set up with Comcast or Time Warner for his internet.
Rip.
Got some, but
So
actually,
he's living there now?
yeah, he's got his own place. He's got his own place now. But also that's actually totally a lie because we've got those here, and FiOS just sends those flyers wherever the fuck they want, even
That's
if it's
pretty funny.
So like
They're
that-
hardly anywhere in the city. They really
And so
are.
has Sark, and then you
So-
call and they're like, "Oh no, we don't have you at that address." It's like, why did you send me this then? They told me you did.
So
do that.
the thing about FiOS 2 is if you don't have it in your neighborhood already, you will never get it. Because
Really?
they are done laying fiber. Yes.
Damn it.
Verizon is no longer laying new fiber. If they didn't have plans to do it there and their initial plans, they will never put it there. And they're like done. They've cut off any new plans. So they are still installing it in some neighborhoods
Yeah.
but those are neighborhoods they planned to do it in like 7 years ago. So
Did
like
they say why they're doing that?
it's too expensive to keep laying,
Yeah, yeah.
laying new fiber. Basically, even though they are like number one in customer service, number one in reliability, like
That just seems so weird to me to think that like you could corner an easy market. I don't know. It seems like the cost is worth it when you offer such a good service that people are obviously
Yeah.
going to buy.
well, like
I don't know.
Well, like last week on the cast, I recently got cable TV back last week. Did the math, like and you know the services I was paying for it just wasn't worth it. NHL Game Center has gone up like an extreme amount in price, so I just canceled those and got cable back. And Verizon guy came in and like he was done in like 15 minutes. Like they called me 3 times before he was gonna come, like to be like, hey, he'll be there in half an hour, then he'll be here in 15 minutes. Like then he called from outside to make sure now was a good time. Like this is like the service they give, you know. So I didn't have to sit there for like an 8-hour window and wonder when he was gonna show up. And then there's like a battery backup for the ONT, which is the box on the outside of your house.
Yeah.
And it's the battery backup had been beeping for months. You guys have probably heard it on my streams. If you see my streams, it beeped every like half an hour. And it has like a Power Wheels battery in it, like one of those, like a mini car battery. And he's like, well, normally, you know, if you would call us, we would be like, well, we'll replace that for $60, but I'll just do it. It's fine. I was like, all right, cool. Like Verizon customer service, man.
There you
Fucking
go.
good. And like the last time I had trouble, like our guide went away and wouldn't come back, and the dude fucking replaced all the wiring in the house and like replaced the router. They just don't care. They just don't want to be on a list with Comcast and Time Warner.
Yeah,
As far
Yeah.
as
exactly.
customer service.
That's not
so-
hard to do either. All you got to do is just
Yeah.
care about your goddamn customers. That's all you got to do.
And not
Show
even
a
care
little
that
bit of
much.
support.
Just offer enough service so that you're not fucking terrible. That's
Exactly.
it. Like just the bare minimum would even be acceptable at this point.
Yeah.
But
Anytime we call Comcast now, we're on like a different line. So we immediately get a supervisor. Because last time I had a run in with Comcast, we spent probably a dozen hours on the phone and we eventually ended up just chewing people out because I was that mad. Because it was so bad that I chewed someone out. And I worked in a fucking call center. I would never do that unless you were just incompetent. And they are that incompetent.
Yep.
Yeah.
Comcast is trying to sell you when they're trying to fix your problem at the same time. Like it's so
Exactly.
bad. But the news, and this weekend was of course the we're going to start off with the X Games Aspen CS:GO tournament that was this weekend. So there were some highs and some lows. Like mostly it was really high level Counter-Strike for the
Yep.
most part, like really high level. Like the Fnatic oh god, who did they play in this in the semi? Was it NIP? No.
LDLC.
LDLC, I think, in the semis, wasn't it? Around
Yeah,
there, like,
I believe.
I don't
No,
think it was.
I don't
or
know.
Dignitas, was it?
I don't think I watched the semifinals.
I forget.
God damn
but
it.
that was like the best. I'm blanking on this right now so bad. They played NIP, and that was like the
NIP,
best
yeah,
series I've ever seen
Oh, in
in
the semis,
CS:GO.
yes.
It was unbelievable. That 3-map series was fucking incredible. So yeah, Dalesy, I know. But extremely high level stuff. Dignitas showing up big. Fnatic, of course, not showing up big this weekend, finishing 4th. But I think I was most impressed though by MLG's production,
Totally agree.
which I thought
it was really good.
top notch. And except for during some of the round robin games, the downtime was so minimal. It was awesome.
It was.
Yeah,
I
it was
honestly
actually
was super
very good.
impressed. I was very
See,
impressed.
the thing that I liked was whenever they did have downtime and they were going to Fiflarin and Thorin, you could see them setting up for the next match behind them. So it like gave you some kind of perspective on how long it actually takes for them to bring everybody's peripherals in
Yeah.
and set up their configs and whatnot to their preferences to get set up for the next match, because that does take a while. Like people play on different resolutions, they use different crosshairs, they use different HUD setups, they use different mice and keyboards. There's a lot that you have to fix for each match. So it kind of gave perspective there, and they had enough people doing analysis and whatnot to make the downtime not as time wasting as some where you just get a picture and just EDM music playing. Like that's what you get on a lot of streams. You don't get any like really long-term analysis from a couple of people.
Yeah.
They take
They-
a break and they play music, and that can kind of get boring.
They
Well, and that's kind of what separates esports right now from real sports is little things like that. That's what's
Yeah.
keeping it from getting, I think, a little bit bigger for people who don't understand the sport. Because if you're going into a blind, you're just like, what's happening? But
Yeah,
I think
like-
they did a really good job here. They kind of not really dumbing it down, but just being insightful to what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The casting was good except for Sadakist or whatever his name was. Not very good, but everybody else was damn good. Thorne and Faflarin were great on analysis. And what I mean by production is like the sets were awesome. I loved that they finally had a CS:GO tournament. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but as long as I've been watching it, I haven't seen one where they've had booths.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah, and that's the
a
MLG,
much
which
better
is
way to do
way
things.
better. Also, they competent split screen during 1v1s, like cut to it, which I've seen fucked up so
Not
many
even
times.
just that, but just having Steel as an observer absolutely put that tournament in 10 times over what it would have been if there was nobody doing actual observation and it was some kind of auto director.
Right.
Steel did a fantastic job doing things like turning off X-ray at
Yep,
clutch
that was-
moments.
It's really well.
and-
The whole
and all-
direction of that was good.
More 99% of the time being where shit was
The
going
action.
down or was about
Yeah.
to be, or doing things like third person cameras over an area to show a rush coming in before going to a player before they have to start going into a play and shooting at people.
Right.
It was excellent. It was really good to watch.
It was. And that's such a huge thing. And people, it's so funny until you watch Counter-Strike done, like someone controlling the camera that isn't good at it or doesn't have the feel, then you really start to be like, wow, this is, because it does take a certain amount of intuition and all that kind of stuff to do that well. And that makes the experience. If you're constantly like away from the action, I forget what tournament I was watching recently that was kind of like that. It wasn't a big tournament, but I was like, every time anything good was about to happen, it was almost like the auto director that normally happens, Sham, where it just switches off.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck are
Exactly.
you doing?
Auto director misses fucking everything.
worst.
You need somebody that
Yeah.
understands how teams play around and when things are going to happen, and someone who can switch to the right perspective. Somebody's there that can fill that role. You got to do it. If you're going to have a major esports tournament, you got to go the
I mean,
full mile.
I think it was far and away the most enjoyable to view as, of all the big CS:GO tournaments that I've seen. I really
So
think it
so
was.
everyone bagging on Sadakist or whatever. This is the thing. Like he's obviously, I think he needs some more experience. I don't know. Does he casted Counter-Strike before?
He casts ESEA stuff, I think. but
Okay.
I don't know.
I see potential. There was a lot of kind of funny like foot and mouth stuff, and he repeated himself a lot. I do like DDK a lot, but I didn't think he didn't ruin it for me. Like I would go back and forth. Like sometimes I feel like he'd do a call and I'd be like, that was decent. And then other times, but I think there's potential. He was not as
Sean
terrible as
Gares
some
was an
other casters.
amazing color guy.
Yeah, Sean Gares is good.
Obviously, he doesn't want to be in that position every tournament.
For me,
but-
like with
Because it's not that
casting, if I don't
Notice.
remotely think about the caster
Yes.
and I don't notice anything,
Yes.
then they're doing an okay enough job for me. Because I've heard some really shit casting.
Me too. Yeah.
Really, really shitty casting with tons of foot and mouth moments and people.
I'm just gonna
forcing-
say this, and I have nothing against Corey Dunn, okay? Because
Oh my God, he's the perfect
for
example.
a long time. But Corey Dunn is one of, and the criminal thing about Corey Dunn is Corey Dunn has been casting for years and years and years, and he has never improved. If anything, he's gotten worse. And he was, I mean, honestly, Corey Dunn was bad back in the day. There is no excuse. Like. Honestly, it feels like Corey Dunn just kind of cashed in on his voice, where it's like he has
Exactly.
a deep voice.
That's my biggest
but
problem
Corey
with
Dunn is terrible. And if and I'm sorry, but and so Sadakist is far and above Corey Dunn. And to be fair, Corey Dunn has been doing it a really long time. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Anyway.
it's
Jimmy Wiz
it's
for
all- yeah.
caster.
Jimmy Wiz is a great caster too. Jimmy Wiz could cast.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like it's always these guys that come in with like Corey Dunn's voice, the deep voice, and what they do is they put inflections on almost every
It's just-
fucking just nondescript thing. They'll inflect a word for no apparent reason to make it sound more important or something. It's like you can let the goddamn game speak for itself. You just need to understand the game on a level where you can analyze what the team is doing and give new
And
people
sometimes-
who are watching the sport perspective on what's going on. That's your job as a caster. You have to provide perspective.
and less
You
is
don't
more
need to try to
sometimes.
sell yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what
Sometimes
they're
you
doing.
don't have to say everything every second. You can let it breathe, as my
Exactly.
friend C. Wallace would say. Let it breathe for a second. Like let the action, because that's the other thing is when you're trying to fill time. with that.
Mhm.
And sorry, Jimmy, not to shit on Corey. I have nothing against him personally. I just don't enjoy watching him cast. I feel like he could improve. Like I feel like he could improve a lot. But it's just like so you'll say things over and over, repeat, and obviously casting anything that can be a tendency to happen. But overall, yeah, I agree. Like I wasn't noticing. Like I
Yeah, and
wasn't
honestly, with
frustrated
Sadicus, wasn't
as
he
much.
casting like 80% of the matches too?
He was on like almost all the time.
I mean, that's I mean, to be fair, you got to give somebody credit for going that many matches, and I at least for me didn't annoy me. I mean, I didn't even remember anything that stood out in my mind where I was like, that was kind of weird that he is casting this way or any kind of things like that. So I don't know. I thought it was fine. I didn't have any problems with any of the
who's
casters
actually
that
a
I
really
watched.
good color guy? Steele, when he was at, was it DreamHack? Did he do some color?
Yeah, he
I
did
don't
some-
remember.
Steele is a really good color commentator. He's
Sean
really
Gares
good.
was excellent.
And Sean Gares
Um,
is good too. Yeah, there's a
But
lot
yeah,
of players.
NACS. Speaking of Sean Gares, did not do great.
God.
The
Ugh.
C9 had one highlight of beating NIP. in
Yo, and
one
that
map,
game was
but,
That game
fucking
was nutty.
ridiculous.
But
Yeah.
I mean, nothing played those vents like I have never seen anybody play vents on Nuke before. It was fucking weird.
But
and then these other two games were just,
Yeah.
I don't know.
they got
don't
stomped.
know.
They got fucking stomped. But everything today was awesome. The bronze medal game was awesome. Dignitas versus Fnatic, and then the gold medal game, LDLC versus NIP, until Cobble rears its ugly head again to decide a tournament.
I you know what? That was a disappointing third map. No one likes to watch it. It's not really entertaining, and the players
Well, the
don't like
point
to
for
play
me
it.
is that
the
I don't
problem.
like to watch it because the players don't
They don't-
try to do
Yeah.
anything with the map. They pug it. Like
They do.
it just
They do.
looks like they're going onto a map and they've got a basic idea of the layout, but nobody really has any strategical calls for Cobblestone. It almost just seems like everybody's running around with their heads cut off. That makes it not fun to watch for me.
Viewership-
as much
actually
as everybody
dropped.
wants it gone, I just wish that while it's in the map pool, however long it is, somebody
People
would
would
put
take
some
it,
goddamn
yeah.
effort into making the most out of the map that's there. In any way, just put a little bit of time into it to learn something on the map because it
just
doesn't
need to
play out like
simplify
anybody
it.
does.
Yeah.
It's got way too many angles and stuff, which makes for even if I don't think they were going around with like their heads chopped off. I just think it's that complicated that it's like unreliable to.
Oh no, it's a
Assume
weird
things.
map. It is. I still don't know it. I've only played it a few
I
times.
don't know why
I can
they-
understand the frustration, but
So-
I don't know.
I didn't dislike Source Cobble, but this Cobble is gross, like comparatively.
Yeah.
I don't know why they changed so much.
I didn't like
about it.
Source Cobble even.
Well, there was so many less avenues in Source Cobble. Like it made more sense as a map.
See,
Like,
to be fair,
but-
also, I guess NIP actually did get shut out on T side. They didn't get a single round.
Yeah.
And that's traditionally how Cobble was. Like, even in the source, it was like if you got 14-1 and you got one round, like you should win that fucking game because it was so.
And LDLC
so
walked away with
CT-sided.
5 in their half.
And they
Yeah,
did,
that's
and
the
it's a
side.
lot more even now with the middle area and being able to like cut through and all that kind of stuff. And they have made it more even. I don't know. I don't know
just
what
a
the
bad-
answer is. It's
It's
just
a bad
not.
core to start off of. They are trying to improve on something that I don't think is good competitively. It's fun for
Yeah.
like pubs or whatever if you're just having fun with friends. Because I played that map a lot on 1.6, but
Yeah. It's
I
just
don't
it's
see
just
it as a
way,
competitive map.
just way too much. See, even Overpass now, like Jimmy, I am. I don't know about for competitive, but I've started to like. I don't know. The more I play Overpass, I see that as much more of a viable map even than
Absolutely.
Cobblestone, because it's so fast. Like I like how fast Overpass plays out, and I don't know. We'll have to see. But
I
I
really
would,
like
I
the
would have watched the
B-site.
final.
Yeah.
I would have watched the final on Overpass before I would have watched it on Cobblestone for
Mm-hmm.
sure. I don't know, but maybe
So-
it's the
We'll see where they go with this. Both maps, both Overpass and Cobble, have been much maligned since they came out. But
Yeah.
I mean, I have defended it before, but I have no defense this time. It was yucky. To
It was just-
watch.
it was
That
also
the
because
word I
the-
could use.
the
It was.
first-
It was just.
Yeah. The first two matches were so fucking high. I don't know,
Yes.
just like so intense.
Dude,
and
that
then it was kinda
overtime
like-
on
yeah,
Mirage.
On
good
Inferno?
lord- Or yeah, Inferno. Excuse
Inferno,
me.
yeah,
It was
it's fucking nutty.
incredible, man.
Yeah, so many good rounds in those matches, and then it was kind of went out with a whimper. But yeah, I think overall though, like you said, the production and also what excited me was that like I've been reading these posts on Reddit because I'm a redditor, but in the CS:GO subreddit, someone posted about how Like they were really like MLG was really listening to the community, listening to the players. They just even bringing in Steel to Spec and do all that kind of stuff. Like that's really encouraging, and that's the kind of stuff you need to have for the game to
However-
continue to be good.
However,
Yes.
I am not entirely sure. I think it peaked at like 150K, maybe 200K, something.
It was
Something
close
like
to
that.
200 during the fight. It was like 185.
How
when
much
I
would
was-
that have been on Twitch?
Yeah.
instead?
A lot more.
I don't know.
A lot
Don't know.
more. Is
The only
answer.
way I found it was going through a link someone had to specifically
Dude, and
go.
we were sitting there and before it even started on Friday, and we were like, how do we find the stream? Like, what channel is it going to be on? And it took us 20 minutes to find the channel it would be on. Like on MLG, there's no search. Like discovery is terrible. Like we also discovered that half the streams on there were replays, like people rebroadcasting
Yeah.
Yeah.
and shit. And I was just like, God, man, that's depressing. And the
They
stream
have-
quality
yeah.
was not great. Stream quality
Yeah.
was not
On
great.
Yeah, I
sorts,
mean,
it's
sometimes
okay.
it ran fine, and sometimes I don't know what it was. If it's some automatic thing that happened, but it felt like my quality was degrading, and I don't know if it was compression or if it was actually degrading, and I was
No.
getting less than 1080p or
I
720p.
need to
or whatever they
answer
were
Mike.
streaming in.
Mike, this was before the stream started. It was not on the front page, and we wanted to know what channel it would be on directly, and there was no way to actually find it. So that is what it was. Yeah, it was impossible to find.
Right. And I do want to say, talking about Flush, and not to bring up this fucking thing again, but I see it's people are bringing it up in chat. Is that, I mean, you have to take a look at like how Fnatic is doing post all of that
rough.
scandal, and
Rough.
it's really rough.
They're
It's
still really
rough.
good, but
They are good, but I don't know, maybe they're just having a rough time.
Dignitas played out of their fucking minds though in that
Yeah.
bronze medal game too. But
They did, yeah. Dignitas played
Yeah,
really
the
well.
ads that happened during the final, I don't know
Yeah.
what the fuck happened there. Because I thought, okay, maybe somebody messed up and this one ad is it. No, there were two. There were two ads that
Yeah,
played
goddammit.
during the cobblestone round.
yeah, mid rounds. Like,
Mid rounds.
This is the craziest thing. Kind of close this out. It was really, I think we all agree, really well done tournament overall. Really high
Oh, it
level
was,
CS to
yeah.
watch. Dignitas is now team solo mid. Like
Yeah,
minutes after they won the bronze.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of shifting.
right.
Yeah, they're TSM now. So if you didn't
Which is
know that, you
exciting,
know now.
which I do like, because these are some big name organizations, obviously, in other games. So it's good to
Mm-hmm.
see, like CLG, obviously huge in League, and I guess StarCraft. CLG have a StarCraft? I think they have StarCraft, guys. Maybe not.
don't
But either
know.
way, TSM, the same kind of thing. Yeah, so it's really
I think
exciting.
CLG has
really
either Dota or League though. I'm not totally sure
Dota,
on that
maybe,
too.
is what I'm thinking. They have League too.
But some other shit did happen this week. Windows 10, they finally had a huge real event for Windows 10 rather than 5 dudes in an art gallery, which is what the first thing was.
I don't know, that sounds kind of cool though.
But so the reason this is important, and we put an article up on the site on it, there is some cool stuff coming. The most important thing is for the first year, and this is really important to you guys who might be building a PC, because fucking Windows is expensive right now. It really is. If you have to go buy a copy, I mean, you can acquire a copy in other ways, but if you have to go buy a copy, it's like 120 minimum, I believe, is like the cheapest one. Windows 10 will be free to all users of Windows 7 and Windows 8.1 for the first year of its release. What I hope this brings is that they do away with this $100 pricing scheme, and they go to either Apple used to do it for $20, I believe, and now Apple's is free. But go to a 20, somewhere between 20 and $50, please.
Yeah.
You're killing yourselves with consumers. Like, there's a reason Apple gains every year, and it's because you get a free upgrade of your OS every year. So hopefully they stick with that. The other important things as far as PC gamers, this is a gaming podcast, DirectX 12 is coming with Windows 10. I don't know that they said anything specific as far as if that's exclusive to Windows 10, but it looks like it will increase performance of CPU-bound games, so games like CSGO and Battlefield 4. It'll improve performance in those games by up to 50%. So by CPU.
Well, that sounds interesting.
Yeah. It'll also improve power consumption by it'll cut that in half compared to DX11. So, and Epic have already announced that Unreal 4 will support it out of the box. So any Unreal 4 games will run on DX12 right away. Some of the DX11 cards will end up working with DX12, I believe they said, but a lot of it is going to be waiting for new models to use DX12. So, and Windows 10 also just overall looks really good. It really does. I've been using it for a while on my laptop. It's quite nice. So there's also going to be the Xbox app coming for Windows 10. And I wrote, at its most basic, it is a glorified Raptor/NVIDIA experience app, because that's exactly what it is. You can take screenshots, save gaming moments, whatever, share them with your friends. Xbox Live will be integrated into it, so Xbox Live friends. The most interesting thing, though, is that you will be able to stream Xbox One games to your PC or Windows 10 tablet. You will, of course, need an Xbox One for this.
Yeah.
That doesn't.
I mean, does
really...
that mean having keyboard support
No,
for a game?
no.
Okay, so
None.
it's just streaming
you
to your
must use an
PC.
Xbox controller.
I gotcha.
You can also do it on a Windows tablet
Yeah.
if you wanted, which is kind of cool. But on the other hand, then I have to buy an Xbox One.
Well, I mean, I have one, so
Like-
that's part of the problem.
But for
solved
you,
for me,
if
but
you have
I mean,
an
my
Xbox
Xbox is
One-
right here. I don't see why I need to stream it to my PC. I
Right.
don't know.
But they're also working on. They've confirmed they're working on a way for streaming PC games to the Xbox One, which seems
Wait, what?
even
I don't know
less
why I want to use
point
that
to
feature,
that. Yeah, I don't
Microsoft.
want to do that. I don't want to. I want it to look really shitty. That's what I want.
Listen, can the people subscribe from their Xbox One? That's the only, like, that's the only way I'll do that. No.
Now the cool.
I mean, as long as I mean, if it can have low latency and it somehow
Yeah.
keeps the quality of
Mm-hmm.
your
Yeah, it would have to be good
computer
quality.
doing the graphics output, and all it's doing is you know encoding
I mean, I
that to
imagine
your console.
it's meant to be a competitor with the Steam home streaming. is what it's
exactly,
meant to be.
exactly.
That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to compete with that. Valve got the head start, as did Nvidia with the Shield and the different things you can
It's
do
just
with
Valve
NVIDIA
is taking
cards.
a while with that controller. I think they're on their final version of it now, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I guess
The
that's
controller's
really
gonna
We'll
come
know
out
more
biggest
at
thing.
GDC. We'll know a lot at GDC.
Yeah.
But the coolest thing about all of that, though, is that there's going to be cross-play in most Xbox One games, meaning PC players will be able to play against Xbox One players in games.
How many
that are on
times?
both
Can I
systems.
stop with the crossplay thing? So, hold on.
That-
How
I
many
think
times?
That
I've been
used to
hearing
be
this
like
for
a
10
headline
years.
in 2004.
I
That
know.
was like a
10
headline
years.
that we
And then
would
every
have
time that
crossplay.
happens, like,
But
people are
apparent-
like, "Why would I ever do that? I just get shit on."
Yeah,
by
they're
PC
also saying
players.
that they're basically porting everything that comes out on Xbox One
Yeah.
to PC.
See, now if they do that,
So-
then that's something.
so
Yeah.
hopefully we get a Halo out of this. That would be the ultimate
Exactly.
thing.
that would
be
be
cool.
awesome.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I'm kind of salty on Halo, so fuck Halo right now. With it still being fucked up, and I think they're in a beta phase for their big update to fix partying and matchmaking and things like that. Because I'm pretty sure that grouping with friends and stuff is still incredibly fucking broken in the Master Chief Collection. It is
So-
amazing.
The OS will be available, Windows 10 will be available in late 2015 is what they're saying. If you have a device under 10 inches, such as a Windows tablet, smaller Windows tablet, or a Windows phone. Nobody here has a Windows phone. What am I saying?
Fucking size queens. Under
yeah.
10 inches.
Windows,
Lord.
yeah, Windows 10 will be free on those platforms. So that's cool. But yeah, so that
Well,
happens.
yeah. I think the Valve controller will come out the same time that the fucking Half-Life 3 is released. We'll see. I don't know. I feel
what
like we've been hearing about
everyone's
that for a while, but
So we
I'm
didn't
glad they're
get
taking their time with it.
we
Yeah,
didn't get
could
any of the crazy stuff. Although Microsoft did say they have a huge announcement involving Windows gaming coming in at GDC. So we'll see. Anyway, the GTX 960 also released this week, which is the baby brother of the Beast Mode 970 and 980. Of course, it's around $200. This is what it retails for. It's not that great overall.
Yeah,
We
I
have-
heard that its performance wasn't really like it was comparable to a 7 something. I forget if you know, like off the
it's like a
bat.
760 basically.
Like a 760?
Like,
Okay.
There's not going to be a TI version. It doesn't sound like it. Retails
Mm-hmm.
around $200. There's 150 less than a 970, but a 970 is definitely $150 better. What it comes down to. It's about half the performance
Yeah.
for over half the price.
Yeah,
It-
you better get a 970. That
They-
card is too cheap for what it does.
Yeah, what they're saying is the 960 is basically sort of targeting the demographic of people who use PCs to play games like League, like Dota, that aren't necessarily super graphically intensive, but have enormous player bases. And
Yeah.
Mhm.
you know, this is a really good $200 GPU though.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you know, the 970 is just too good. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, it is.
970 is just too good, and two of these do not really equal a 970 for more money. So, because two of these is going to be $400, but it's not that much better. But you know, if you're looking for a cheaper option, that's still pretty good. The 960s there. We got a little article Bob wrote up on our site on the overall impressions of it. You can go check that out. Also have a few quick articles here. There's a concept now for a PC in a mouse. It's just the mouse.
I gotta see this
That's all
now.
it is.
Okay. Yeah,
I read
Um,
about this, or I think I saw it.
It's pretty fucking crazy. And it could
Yeah, but when
actually-
you think about it,
I mean,
it's
looking at things
doable.
like Raspberry Pi and whatnot, it
Yeah.
seems
Yeah.
like, yeah, you could fit something that could work on that small of a device. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, look what Intel released recently with the one that's basically like on a thumb drive.
Yeah.
It's just a HDMI thumb drive.
Yep, that's pretty crazy. Um,
So they're just going for the mouse.
yeah, they got
like,
a
straight to the controller.
quad core ARM CPU, which is basically what's in your phone. It would be in this 2 USB 3.0 ports, 128 gigs of flash memory on it, Wi-Fi. Like,
Mm.
it could work.
Jesus.
Um,
Yeah.
It'd be more of like, how is this thing displaying? on
Yeah.
I mean,
something,
is it
but-
going from the micro HDMI to a display, and
Yeah.
the micro HDMI is like your mouse cable?
Yeah, it's
and you're
pretty
playing-
crazy.
I
Yeah.
don't-
What the
that's-
fuck?
That sounds really odd.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
crazy. Just wanted to bring it up because it sounds nuts, but with the way things are shrinking down these days, definitely could happen.
Yeah.
And then I put a couple stories on here, partially because Mark was going to be on here, and also because of the ridiculousness of both of them. But Trials Fusion just now has
Yeah.
online multiplayer. It has
Yep.
just been patched as of a few days ago. Dear God, it took them 9 months or something like that. But
I don't know. I mean, I see so many complaints about it. Online multiplayer is not why I played Trials, so I couldn't
Right.
care less about it.
yeah,
For me, Trials is one of those games where I have this satisfaction with completing a map faster, and I like doing it solo. So I play the
Yeah.
single player maps, and I try to get better at them. That's where I find the fun. The multiplayer, like I played it locally. I think that local launched with it. It was just the online multiplayer wasn't there.
yeah.
I played it with Allison one time, but I mean that's it. I don't know. I don't really find much.
Me and you played
satisfaction
Trials
there.
one time, the older game.
Yeah,
though.
yeah, we did play it once. It's just
Took us
I mean,
forever.
it's fun for a bit, but it's not where that's not why I pick
Yeah.
up Trials. That's not why I pick it
Yeah.
up.
You play as
so
a pile of shit.
it doesn't bother me.
Also, what else do we have in here? Ori and the Blind Forest. This game looked really good at E3. It was then at that point it was an Xbox One exclusive, which obviously means so much. But it is coming out for PC and the Xbox One on March 11th. It's a super cool looking platformer. Lots of cool stylized stuff in that game. It just looked really good at E3. So coming out on March 11th, which really isn't far away. So yeah, another Xbox One game comes to PC. And of course, Indigo Prophecy HD Remaster coming.
Hmm.
David
I gotta-
Cage.
Listen, I've never played that, and you best believe I'm playing that shit on stream.
That
I gotta-
HD
I
remaster?
gotta
You need
try.
to.
I've
Oh,
never
yeah.
Have you,
played
have you
it,
ever
so.
seen anybody play through it?
I've never watched anybody play it either.
Trust
I'm, like,
me, it's
totally virgin to it.
it is a roller coaster. That's for sure.
Is it? Okay. Yeah. I've never played it. So.
That's the word we're using.
I'm excited for David Cage's next project, that little teaser. Remember, didn't he do something with PS4? Like
He
showing
did.
faces?
He did that thing with the old guy during
Oh,
the
that's
tech
what it
demo or
was.
whatever.
That's
I
what it
don't know
was.
if that's what they're actually using as like a
Yeah.
basis for their next game, but who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah. Mm.
But new releases this week. Tuesday, Dying Light, yet another zombie game coming out on Tuesday. I believe we're getting keys for that, so we should have a launch stream on this channel for you guys.
I just hope people know it's
But-
by the same people who did Dead Island.
it
Just
definitely
remember
is.
that it's fucking Techland. They fucked up plenty of times before.
Yep.
Don't just buy into it. Don't
Yep.
do that.
And they have been hyping this game to hell and back, especially
They
at
have.
PAXs and stuff. Like they've had massive booths and things like that.
I mean, come
so-
on. They got PewDiePie to play their game. They got him to play it, and then they put it on the VGX Awards.
True.
So that comes out Tuesday, as well as we talked about this last week. Grim Fandango Remastered comes out Tuesday, a PC classic. Hilarious game, great music. It's one of Double Fine's first games, I believe. You should definitely go check out Grim Fandango if you haven't. It's like $15 for the remaster. Definitely a game that needed brought back and given that treatment. Now we just need a full System Shock 2 remake so we can get all the old classics. And then Thursday, my game of the year already, Heroes of Might and Magic 3 HD comes out. I fucking love that game so much. I'm super glad they're redoing it, and it will have online multiplayer. So that's a turn-based strategy, sort of city building, army building game. It's super fun.
Yeah, I never have anything to say about these. I don't play these kinds of games.
Dude, it's so
I
good.
feel like
that
we
game
just
is so good.
some of the games we just say something about it, like, "Hey, it's coming out," and then nobody's got anything to say about it except
Yeah.
Dan.
Oh, I love Heroes of Might and Magic 3.
Yeah.
And you idiots make the document then. No, there is nothing else coming out this week though. Like I always look on Steam.
But Dan, what about all of the great Japanese visual novels and other things, mobile releases, Dan, on Steam? Why not those?
There's nothing out this week. All right. The Heroes of Might and Magic 3 is game of the year every year. So yeah, that's coming out. And that is it for the news section. We're gonna be back with some lengthy questions this week. We didn't
Yeah.
get very many, but they are lengthy.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah. We'll be right back in 2 minutes.
There is that pirate game that comes out tomorrow, and I looked up gameplay of it, and it looks really janky. It's called
the pirate
Raven.
game?
It's called Raven's Cry, but I don't know. It looks Assassin's Creed-ish whenever I looked at it, but I'm not sure. There's no price on it. I don't know how much it's going to cost. I don't know if I want to invest it as a game that could possibly be bad that I could mess around
We
with.
do
but-
occasionally like pick games that are just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Come on here, but there wasn't much this week. Titan Souls is like listed in here as Q1, which is disappointing that there's no actual date. Also, what's that one game? I saw someone. Am I not seeing it on here now? Did I actually go forward? Oh yeah, because there's 2 pages of end of January releases. Life is Strange is supposed to be really good. $5.
Isn't that by the people who did Remember Me?
Is that the Remember Me ones? Let me look.
Because the main character looks exactly like the main character from
Yes,
Remember
it is
Me.
on. It is Don't Nod. Yeah, it is Don't Nod. You know, Remember Me. They missed so much potential in that game. They missed it all. Yes, that is from them. So it's going to be what 5 episodes, but only 1 episode is out on the 30th. So that game is coming. It's a full-on story-based choice, Walking Dead type deal. As in you make choices.
Yep.
So actually, that looks pretty good, especially for $5 to start. The whole thing's only $17 when it finishes. Not
Yeah,
bad.
that's not a bad price point.
So that comes out on the 30th. It didn't actually have a confirmed date when I looked at it earlier. So there you go. All right. Viewer questions. Oop, we aren't quite back from commercial. Are we? No. Come on, Twitch. Tell me. Let me know. Twitch babe. What's up?
Spam
There we
that
go.
commercial button until it tells you that you can't run anymore
Yeah.
until what is it? I forget what the message is. Like how long? Once every
It's like
8
8 minutes.
minutes.
8 minutes. God, I gotta get myself on schedule, so I'm running at
Yo,
least a 2-minute every
fucking-
8.
Fucking. So we
2.5.
started hosting. We
Yeah.
started hosting a shitload in the Kmon channel, like during
Yeah.
the day, trying to keep it, as live as possible all the time.
Mhm.
And get some streamers, some exposure people haven't seen or don't watch. But forget where I was going with this. Shit.
Dan, are you high right now,
I
Dan?
might be high.
Sound a little, Dan. You're really partying while the fam's away.
God, man.
Dan's token
No,
in the
okay,
Zoom
that's
room.
where I was going. So we hosted Face It like 3 or 4 times
Oh, mhm.
to try to watch matches on Face It.
Yeah.
And then I end up unhosting Face It because they run a commercial. They just spam the button between
Really?
matches. Dude, it's just commercial after commercial after commercial. Like it's been like 15 minutes of commercials like between matches. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
I can't deal with it. I'm like, this is spamming. Plus half the commercials on Twitch don't mute, even if I have the stream muted. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had Turbo for so long, I don't even think about like
I
ad
know.
abuse by anybody anymore. I would never see it unless somebody complained about it.
it's
I have turbo as well.
it's just crazy. So Face It, calm down.
Just slow it down.
It's just
They got to have something over all of that EDM. I mean, come on.
dude, I just can't. I've never seen another stream. They must just do the 30-second and then do it again and then do it again and then do it again.
That's why I'm glad Twitch switched to the every 8-minute thing. I didn't know that they,
That's always been a thing since I've been partnered.
because originally before I was partnered, you just could run a 30-second one, and then if you wanted to run 2 minutes worth of ads, you clicked it 4 times.
Right. Yeah.
But I remember that being annoying. Like I remember watching the Super Mario speed run or whatever,
Mm.
and what's his face? That's insane at that Super Mario 64 got world record and just
Lemon.
like spammed it. And I was like, I want to support you, but I actually want to see like how you're reacting to this. So I turned on ad block. It's like,
Yeah.
but I think the 8-minute thing definitely helps with that. I don't mind
Right.
having it off.
Yeah. So Face It, please.
Come on now, don't be like that.
Trying to get the community to watch CS, not some commercials. Um,
Not 15
right.
minutes worth of the same one.
no, dude, that's the thing. It's like 15 minutes of like whatever, Far Cry 4 over and over and over. or
Oh,
whatever
God.
it's gonna
Yeah,
be.
that fucking ad that I've seen so many times everywhere.
So Mladen writes, greetings
All
from Sweden. I am a young lad of 19 years who is bound to start college in the fall. One of the many professions I have been looking into is game developer, which is no surprise. I love games and listen to your podcast. My question to you guys is, if you were to work for a game developer, which one would you choose and why? Special greetings to Blah and his Tinder rant. I didn't know he was such a G, calling women bitches and shit. Such love, many thanks.
Blah is not a G. Let me just set this straight right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell him.
We have all put a lot of work into Blah up here, okay? Changing the way he dresses and thinks and eats and every single thing about him.
Sounds like you're
yes,
brainwashing
please
him into a
Take
cult.
your credit. Take your credit. You need to. Yeah. He doesn't really.
I
talk
can't take
much
credit
about-
for anything except for the wardrobe, which we put some work into last weekend, all right?
Yeah. Good work. Good work. I think you guys may be going a little far sometimes because his opinions are just shit dick, but we'll see. I don't know if that's your guys' fault or he's just developing his own terrible
No, listen,
opinion.
all I said is I can take credit for is the clothes. I can nothing
Yeah.
else. Back it up. That's not me.
He's an asshole. It's not her fault.
Yeah.
Liz got triggered. Ah. Sorry.
If I was to work for a game, I think Blizzard's a damn good choice.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I was just like Blizzard.
yeah. Because at least there, you're not necessarily going to be laid off every couple of years like EA,
Yeah.
which just gobbles studios. I don't know. I think you'd want to start small, wouldn't you?
I kind of would want to, me personally, I think I'd want to be at a smaller studio. I mean, ideally not like one of those where you're working with like 2 other dudes. I think I'd want it to be a little bit bigger than that
Yeah.
just for stability reasons. But I want to work somewhere where my actual input has a real input on the game. Not, oh, okay, we'll consider that. And then some CEO or whatever, someone directing it who's an idiot just goes, nope, we're doing it this way because I said so.
You go like Clay Entertainment. I don't know if I just pronounced that right. The dudes who make Don't Starve.
Yeah.
They're like not super huge, but not.
Oh, I forgot that's the other game that I've been playing so
small.
much of last week.
Have you been playing
That's a-
Don't Starve Together?
Don't Starve together. Yeah, that's so fun.
I haven't played that game in
That's
so
all I wanted to
long.
say about that. Oh, fun.
I would never work for a game company because it's like, there's another. Oh, anyway, I don't.
That's
I
not the
gotta be
question, Scott.
No, I know, but my
You have to
answer
pick
is
your
I would
poison.
rather be unemployed. How about that?
Yeah, you just
Alright,
want to
well-
suck off the
Because if
government.
Go to
your
Nice
mom's
job,
basement.
Scott. Way to be an example for the children.
I will.
Aren't you already
No.
unemployed?
Well, kind of, yeah, still, technically.
Me
I'm
too. Me
I'm a-
too.
I'm a freelancer, technically.
I'm a freelancer.
Listen, no, but I was gonna say there's another company that will remain nameless in a different field, not necessarily video games, that I kind of got a behind the scenes for. And once you see, it's like I love what the company actually outputs, but when you actually go and see what it requires, just like anything with like game making or anything else, like it's insane. Like it can be a shit show, just like anything can be. And so anyway, that's kind of my policy. It's like if I really, really, really love something, and I do love video games, but I don't want to get too close to it because
Right.
it's just once you work it and make it your life, it's just a lot different. So I don't know, but if I had to, like, okay, I'll try to answer the question. If I absolutely had to, I'd probably want to work at a place like Valve. I don't know. Valve seems
Valve
You know
is
what? They wouldn't let you
very
work there
good.
because you don't even really want to work there. So
that's true. They wouldn't know. They'd be
Okay.
like,
You're
"You're
just a
getting too close."
freelancer, Scott.
Yeah, I don't know. That's right. That's what they would say to me. Is Jimmy in here? Why? Are
Yeah, Jimmy's-
why
He's
for
calling
Jimmy
you
to-
out.
Jimmy's yelling at you.
God damn it, Jimmy. Listen, Jimmy. I feel like I'm just shitting on Jimmy this week by proxy. Sorry, buddy.
Poor Corey Dunn, now game
I
development.
know. Now I'm
like, dude.
shitting on. No, I'm glad. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
poor Corey Dunn.
I'm sure that Jimmy has absolutely no issues at all about being a game developer. I'm sure it's all peachy, Jimmy. I'm sure it never is frustrating at
No,
all.
no.
Never. No.
The internet is great too.
And
Yeah,
absolutely, the feedback that you
Yeah.
get, the
Your
honest.
customer base
Speaking
is
of
just
which-
they're top
Yeah.
notch.
This is not a positive, but
Nothing like a death threat to put things into
Yeah.
perspective, you know?
That's true.
About
Well, speaking of
what
multiple
your priorities should be.
multiple death threats, Robert Bowling's studio shut down.
Oh, did it?
This week, yeah, Robotaki closed its
Oh
doors.
my
They were like
God, that's
mid-dev on that
amazing.
game. Yeah. They,
I like somebody earlier in the chat, I think it was Yingity Yang, said strategy first, which would probably be one of my picks. So strategy first, if some people don't know, are probably one of the main offenders behind some of the other German companies that releases bullshit on Steam and on Amazon and whatnot.
like
so like
simulator games?
Alpha Xylon
Yeah.
Oh,
and
okay.
some other games like that. Just really, really shitty stuff that Strategy First just acquired and then just threw up onto whatever digital store they could, because that's no cost to them to put it on the store. So they just sell it for $5 or $10. And to be fair, I've bought a lot of their games, so I'm pretty
Yeah.
much
You're
like
part
their
of the
main
problem.
customer. I am a part of the problem. That would be fun to just be a part of a company that just releases garbage all the time and like doesn't do the work for the games. They just eat it up and then spit it back out all over everybody's face. I like the idea of being strategy first in that regard. But let's see, like smaller developers, I don't know, like Devolver Digital. I like
Yes.
a lot of the interesting games that they publish and also have a hand in. I think that would be interesting working for something small like that. And
I agree,
having little
Devolver
interesting
Digital,
games.
Yeah, man. Like they at E3, she handed like a lady who worked there. She handed me a little thing of tequila. I would totally work there.
As long as they did
Like,
that
here you
every
go.
day.
Listen,
They're a
guys,
bunch
can
of-
I just
they're a
say
bunch
this
of
is a fact.
badasses,
If you
though.
give Lindsay alcohol, she'll be your friend forever. Just
We
give her
gonna be
fire.
best friends.
But if it was to go
Or
off of
alcohol.
like gaming passions, it would have to be Harmonix would be choice number one. I would love to be involved in another Rock Band kind of title.
There's a
or
new
just
one
be-
coming, dude.
Yeah. I mean,
Is
they
it-
did the
is it
survey. I did the survey. I
Yep.
absolutely did that goddamn survey, and I'm
Now,
so
here's the
excited for the
question.
idea of it coming back.
Would you want to be like a buddy of mine knew one of the guys for one of the rock bands where he was his job there. He was assigned a song and he had to make sure he could 100% the song. And he got one of like the last songs of the game. So his job was to go through and he played it for hours and hours. And
Well, I
hours
mean, that's
every
what I
day.
did. I used to whenever I was
That would drive
living
me nuts.
whenever I was living with my dad still, and we lived in a house, and I didn't have to worry about making noise. Like I spent like $500 on a drum kit. I had a lot of investment into Rock
Yeah.
Band, and I played it every single day. Would have no problem like play testing that game constantly. I mean, because it's the concept of it is really fun. They've already got the groundwork laid down. It's not like you would be fighting for something competent when it comes to Rock Band. But it would either be that or working on something like CSGO is definitely a passion of mine now. I'm late to the party, really late. I've only been playing the game seriously for like 5 or 6 months, but I am so behind that as a first-person shooter, and it would be fun to be on the back end of that. As
Yeah.
much criticism as they get. I mean, to be fair, compare it to other competitive shooters out there, CSGO is absolutely the best. I mean, when you look at it that way, I can't complain too much. I can't. But that would be my choice there.
Cool.
Alrighty.
All right, bros. A food question. It had
Yes.
to happen. Underscore Saley on Twitter asks, favorite guilty pleasure snack? For me, it is the wonderful phenomenon known as cookie butter.
What?
I have cookie
now-
butter in the cabinet right now.
What is
What
cookie
is
butter?
cookie? Yeah, explain that.
like
Cookie butter is butter that's made out of Biscoff.
Biscoff spread,
yeah,
or like the
it-
Biscoff cookie is like
Exactly.
it's called Biscoff spread, and it's made out.
Trust me, get that and either eat it with something like pretzels or bananas or apples and put
Have
it
to
on there.
watch-
I
and-
swear
okay,
to
and-
God, it'll
Wait.
No,
change
it's
your life.
delicious, and
Is
you
it-
have to watch the Biscoff cookie spread video.
There's a video?
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah. Okay. Just Google it.
I'm looking
Yeah.
right here. Trader. Oh, I've had this shit. Yeah.
It's so good. We have some
Yeah.
in our cabinet.
Yeah,
oh,
mate.
I kind of want to go get some right now.
It's really wonderful.
We have it in our
Um,
cabinet.
Put it inside me.
I gotta go with like a snack. See, guilty pleasure foods. I mean, there's,
Yeah, we could go for hours here on that.
but just like a snack. What I like to do is actually make some oatmeal and then put a spoonful of Nutella in it.
Huh.
This sounds weird, but
That sounds
man,
amazing.
like
I don't know.
it's super
I don't know.
fucking good.
You might be onto something here.
I mean,
Yeah.
I love oatmeal. Usually, I put apples in it, but fuck that. I should put Nutella in it.
Yeah, put Nutella. Well, you can put Nutella on it, like basically.
I mean,
Yeah, Nutella in general.
Not a huge. I may be a big guy, but I'm not a huge snacker. I don't like. I mean, like I'm trying to think. 'Cause when I think snacks, I think like chips and that kind of stuff. I'm trying to
Yeah,
think
I'm
what
not
my
a-
favorite would be.
too into that stuff either.
I don't know. I don't. Is beef jerky like a guilty? Not well,
Oh
or like.
God,
If
I like
it's like a
beef jerky a
fucking
lot.
Slim Jim, then yes.
is.
Yeah. Okay. I'll
Yes,
go Slim
for
Jim. 'Cause I
sure.
do like Slim Jims a
Because
lot.
those aren't even made of meat. Those are just
Listen, it's
they're
real
made
meat,
of
come
Randy
on.
Savage.
I grab a Slim Jim if I'm being lazy and I want beef jerky, but I will
Yeah.
absolutely get bags and bags of beef jerky and
Yeah,
chow
real
down
beef
on
jerky.
it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
My go-to
don't-
is like a big. I would go to Costco and I get like one of those big bags of nuts or whatever. It's like I try to always
Big
make sure you
bag
get the
of
variety.
nuts.
Hey, like a dick joke somewhere in there, but no. Like I have to be careful though, because especially if you get just like one set of them and you eat those at work, not thinking about it, you like make yourself sick because they're good, but your stomach can only handle so many. So my favorite snack makes me feel bad.
Rip.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like is it guilty pleasure? Does it mean like something that you know you shouldn't be eating, but like you'll eat it, or is it like you're embarrassed to let everybody know that you like this?
I think it's more it's probably
I think
not-
it's more like if you eat it and you feel like I have this too often, I need to calm down.
It never gets
The-
old type of
As
thing.
much as I love this food, it's not doing me any favors, and I need to kind of lay back on it a little bit. I think that that's a guilty pleasure type
Yeah.
of food. But
Yeah.
for me, that would be lately. I've been eating so much restaurant style chips with hummus. I am engorged with hummus and chips right now. I am not. I
You're
ate some
pregnant with
today.
it.
It's a normal meal for me now. Is that I'll go to the store and Mission sells these gigantic fucking bags that say 33% more chips on them, and that's what I buy. It takes me like a week to go through all of
God
these
damn.
chips, and I get gigantic tubs of hummus, and that's what I eat as a snack, and it's so delicious. And it's one of those things that I've got to stop, but I can't. I'm not gaining any weight right now, so I'm not like pushing myself to stop. But if I gain weight,
Fuck you, Shep.
maybe I will.
Son of a bitch.
God damn. I would say something then for me, like every once in a while, I do mean every once in a while, like twice a year, I will go get a bag of Sour Patch Kids,
Oh,
I love
just
Sour Patch.
eat the whole fucking thing, and then
Gummy
my
worms.
teeth feel like they're dying, and
Yeah.
like I feel like I'm dying, but I'm like, man, that was real good. Like, God, they're so good. The children, as I call them. Anybody else?
I don't know. I think that I definitely probably eat some stuff that I shouldn't eat, but I try not to eat like too much of one thing. So
Yeah.
if I am eating something like that's like, because my first thought was like, oh, what's something that's like, okay, that's pretty shitty snack food, like those oatmeal cream pies, but like I love them.
Oh, those
Like,
are
Oh
those make me
man,
sick.
oatmeal cream
Yeah,
pies.
see, like some people don't even like them at all.
I can only eat one and then I can't stomach another. I don't. Yeah, that's.
Those are
I
so
love the
good.
jumbo size one. I grew up
Yeah, I'm
very
with you,
poor
Lance.
in the Midwest, and we had the Star Crunch,
Exactly.
Nutty
Star
Buddy.
Crunch, the Cosmic Brownies.
Cosmic
Yeah.
brownies.
Dude,
Oh.
every day at lunch
But
at
then I
school,
get, like,
get
okay,
a
but
fucking
then-
oatmeal cream pie.
Like, yeah, it's my guilty pleasure, but I honestly cannot remember the last time that I had one. I wish that I could have one right now, though.
Yeah,
Mine would
me
be
But I've
too.
done pretty
Hostess.
well, and I don't buy them because I know they're so terrible.
Did anyone have the little Hostess like cherry pies that you could get?
Oh, I
No,
would buy
I
those
never
at the
had.
gas stations. No, I'd buy the chocolate pie.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
No, I like the cherry one. That was always I had those all the time as a kid. But
But you know what? My roommate actually buys.
I
all the
couldn't
time.
have one
He
now.
bought them yesterday. It was like the box of the Pop'ems. You know, like the little donut hole things. Oh my god! And I was so drunk, like on champagne last night, that I was like, "Give me that!" And I ate like half of the box. So it's probably a guilty.
Oh
pleasure.
man, Swiss rolls, tons of reminders.
Oh, Swiss cake rolls, yeah.
I don't know if you would consider like getting coffee all the time a guilty pleasure, but I also have Starbucks every single day of my life.
Yeah,
I don't know. A
That's
day
fair.
doesn't go by without it. And I mean, it's at least, my the drink that I get is at least like 400 to 500 calories. So it's something that you could consider a snack. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
true.
I have it a
Gotta love
lot.
the Starbucks.
I feel like this is just sham confession time. He's confessed
Yeah.
to eating so much hummus.
Here's
he's
all this
engorged.
bullshit that I
He's like,
throw
I
in
go
my
to
body.
Starbucks every
Hummus
day.
and coffee.
Well, no,
and
you know what
cookie
else is
butter.
really good at the Starbucks that I always get? Like, I can't get an iced coffee without it. Is like the breakfast sandwich, the sausage, egg, and cheese.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
something I
touch
will
those.
get like every time. So
Oh,
good. They're
man.
so good.
All right. Next question.
Anytime
da-
it's food.
Yeah.
Just goes on and on.
Some dating advice. Yo, flat white is ridiculously
No,
good.
people love
Anyway.
to call out because they know that I drink flat whites. So
I
they
fucking love
just
flat
say
whites.
that in chat.
My buddy Derek and me at work the other day, we made up a flat life hashtag. We're like, I'm gonna get so level, bro. I want some level Blanco today.
Yo, look at this goose egg at the top of my drink, man. You like that foam?
All right. Before we go fooding again here, because this podcast has a tendency.
Yes.
Some guy, that was literally his name, writes, "Hey crew, I've recently started listening to the music of artists such as Spooky Black, Young Lean, and Viper. And I realized the social party life / party life is something I wish to partake in. Luckily for me, I'll be starting college in a few months, so I see as a good opportunity to expand my social life. Here's my issue. It is a technical college full of nerds with a male to female ratio of 3-1, 75% male. I do not know how I will be able to compete in this market with my limited social skills. I don't mean just to get my sausage wet, but also to make friends who happen to be girls in general. The advice I was given was to rush a frat, which is horrible advice.
Yeah.
But I'm unsure if I want to be part of that bro life. Any advice on how to meet people in college or in general, or how to be social? Too long, didn't read. How to meet people and not be a complete fuckwad in college? This question.
I don't know. I never went to college.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
if there's like groups that the college has for like specific things that you're interested in, I don't know. Like if there's a club or something.
It's very simple how you make friends, but it requires you to do something that's totally alien to most people, and that's put yourself out there and don't be worried, which is totally alien. No, I get it.
Whoa.
I know. But like
God, Scott,
but you're-
slow down.
put yourself out there and talk to people and like strike up conversations, and not everyone I'm sure will be friend material, but honestly, like this isn't necessarily a college thing, but when I went to like 2 years of all 3 years of like my latter high school years, like I didn't know anybody. I would just go up to people and just start conversations, and like the same thing with like when I would have like nowhere to sit at lunch, I would just sit down with a group of people and be like, yo, I don't want to sit alone, can I sit with you guys? And then they would talk to me and like things would happen. But honestly, like you just got to put yourself out there and don't be such a fucking hermit, man.
Go to house parties.
Yeah, and
And I
house
don't
parties are
mean
great too.
frat house parties. It's house parties. Like you hear people in a class talking about a party that might be happening, go try it out. If it sucks, it sucks. You just leave. Like as far as what Mark says is good advice. If you're interested in something, there are actual
Common
clubs
interests,
in
for sure.
college. Like I met a lot of people playing hockey in college, so that was something
All it takes
I
is
did.
a similar interest to strike up a conversation. That's it.
Yeah,
And here's-
Just one thing.
That's it.
Here's a pro tip that I like to give to people who find themselves like, okay, I did it, I made it, I'm in a conversation with somebody and we could potentially be friends, and they sort of get stuck and they don't really know what else to say and they feel awkward. Just start asking other people like questions. Like people love to talk about themselves, so people will love that you're like showing an interest in them. And as long as you just sort of like not even, don't get creepy, but keep it nice and pleasant and
Yeah.
ask people questions. Like I love it when people ask me about myself. I will tell you everything. And people have told me that they really enjoy talking to me because I ask a lot of questions. I say, oh, so what do you
Yeah.
do? Or where
Yeah.
are you from? Or,
Mhm.
oh, what did you do today? Or, it's like whatever. Easy questions like that.
But I honestly I can't stress enough. Like I can't tell you how many people that I've known that kind of like want to make friends and they come up to me and they're like, dude, I'm not meeting anyone. There's no one with like I'm interested. I'm like, have you left your fucking dorm? Like, have you gone outside? Like they think
They
that
don't
some
just
magical-
magically knock, Scott. I thought that
I
that was the
know.
way it was supposed to happen.
Yeah,
But,
like
people get in this mindset like nobody likes. It's like, do you talk to anybody? Like, do you make any effort? Like, it's just not. I mean, it can happen. Sometimes you'll meet people that will just come in your life and shit. But like, you have to make an effort. Like, life's not a fucking movie.
Andy,
Your girlfriend's just gonna knock on your door and be like, "Hey, I wanna, hey, you're cute," or something. Like, it just doesn't happen like that. You gotta like make an effort.
No,
Like,
trust me. The
really-
first time I
Also-
saw Scott, it was across the room, and he looked at
God,
me, and I looked at him,
Yeah.
and he kind of smiled, just a little grin.
It was a coy smile.
And then he did that upwards nod, just like, hey, yeah, I noticed you over there, and I nodded back,
good.
and then it was like we knew about each other's lives from that moment. It was
It
perfect.
was. Well, see,
No,
And-
the
and-
thing is, like, you have to realize is that every person in here who is answering that question right now already said earlier in this podcast that all of our friends are people we
That's
met
true.
online.
Wow.
Where
Yeah.
you don't have to go outside and you can just sit on your computer and be like, yeah,
I
I
mean,
got that guy. Yeah, you got that guy. Good job. And then you're friends.
most everybody I hang out with here in Pittsburgh, though, I met through college. So
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, well, we're not talking about you, Dan, all right?
you guys are cool too, I guess.
I'm more talking though during the college and
Yeah.
high school
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
What
But
Anion
not
said though
this
is good advice. If you're in the dorms, leave your door open. Seriously, because I'm serious. Because people walk around like maybe they see you playing a video game, like, oh, what's that? And then you
You
strike
set
up
up your
conversation.
computer directly like
Yeah. Make sure that they can see you browsing porn as much as possible.
Well, just do this. Get a third monitor, mirror your main one, and then just face it 180
Right.
Just
degrees.
install
door.
install
Or
like
just
a
stick it
monitor.
outside.
Install
Yeah,
a
just-
monitor on the outside of your dorm room
Yeah, there you
and
go.
have a camera that shows what you're doing inside of the dorm and it displays to everybody and you just go about your daily life and if somebody is interested they'll knock.
Yeah. No, like, because in the dorms, people are always walking by, and don't be a fucking shut-in in the goddamn
Yeah.
dorm.
I mean, if
The
you
only
wanna meet
people I
at
knew who
the
were
actual
shut-ins.
college itself, like, I mean, there's nothing wrong, like Lindsay is saying. We've all been talking about how, like, so many of our friends now we all met online or through gaming and stuff like that. Like, there's nothing wrong with that either. That's totally fine. But if you're talking about being involved in like your actual community itself,
absolutely.
you're gonna have to do that shit. Like, you're gonna have to go out there and
Yeah.
or leave
Yeah,
your
I
door.
do. I have tons of other friends that I met that way too. It's just, you have to be open, like you said initially. You just have to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
It's
like,
the fucking scariest thing you can do, trying to like make new friends, but
mhm.
it's so worth it, you guys. I love you.
So we're, you're all like brothers and sisters to me. Fuck, I didn't want to break down, but fuck.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to provoke you.
Sorry, Lindsay.
Scott gets really emotional.
I do. It's
yeah.
on a dime. I'll just turn.
You're so emotional right now.
I can't.
Swear to
handle
God, he
this.
cries on my shoulder every time I meet him. He's just always overflowing.
Even a game drop, like if you give me a look, I'll sometimes cry off camera. Like, don't see it. That's happened to me. Anyway,
So, off that emotional moment,
yeah.
80 Zen
Oh god.
has
There we
written
go.
us. Apparently, he found this in a 2012 Harvard application essay writing prompt. And
I
he
doubt
wanted
it.
I can't wait for
and
you
he
to try
wanted
to read
to
this. Can't.
to copy it in here. It's sort of racist too, which is really really
it?
weird.
You were able to discern like context of a conversation or something going on in this because I don't know.
I
It just
already
looks
read
like
this.
gibberish.
Yeah.
You're supposed to write an essay on how to bring these two groups together
Oh, okay.
in this. All right. Let me. Okay. All right. So this is from a 2012 Harvard college
Like
application
Dan has
essay.
to he has to clear his
Writing
throat,
prompt.
sit up in his
Yeah.
chair, and prepare for this.
I do.
To try
It's
to
like
read.
because I
I
have to
purposely
pronounce
not read
these
this yet.
words that are misspelled so poorly. This is the prompt. This isn't even the essay.
Yeah.
Imagine your sled in dinosaur world. So already Harvard, I don't know what you're. Imagine yourself in a dinosaur world. You acquaint yourself with white, friendly American West Side dinos.
That word
With
was
a
friendly,
strict-
by the way.
Friendly.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Friendly.
Friendly American West Side dinos with a strict popcorn diet. On East Side, the young thug dinos have many popcorn fields aplenty. For years, spelled Yeers, in agreement, the successful and attractive white dingoes, now they're dingoes, take monthly popcorn ration in agreement of trade of firstborn dino egg to be raised and trained to be raised and trained and dicked by nubile black dinos. You awaken from your dine-known egg in middle of poop-coon transaction, erupting from your shell in various fluids, and holding a Glock. Born with a Glock, apparently. You most likely do not wane to be dino-dicked by giant hashtag Drake dinos. But the elegant white dino master race needs their popcorn.
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 Well, that one was right. You're right.
Find an agreement between the dino races so that the dino sexon can end peacefully and everyone gets popcorn.
So, so, so basically, oh god! All right, I'm kind of seeing how this could be Harvard because it's like problem solving, right? And
Can
it's-
I like? Can I?
It's a
Can I try to
diplomatic
read it out
issue.
as it should be said, so we can try to
Please,
get some
please.
kind of all right?
Yeah,
Yes.
context.
Yes.
Imagine
Go ahead.
yourself in a dinosaur world. You acquaint yourself with a white, friendly American West Side dinosaur with a strict popcorn diet. Now, on the East Side, however, there are young thug dinos, and they have popcorn fields aplenty. They've got it everywhere. All right.
Yeah.
So, in agreement,
Okay.
the successful and attractive white dinos or dingoes, whatever they're calling them, I guess
Yeah.
that's slang. They take a monthly popcorn ration in agreement of trading their firstborn dino egg to be raised and trained and fucked by the black dinos on the east side. All right. So yeah, there's some commerce happening here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some kind of
There's
trade
an
off.
agreement.
It's a little dino trafficking. going
So
on.
this is where you come in. You have awoken from your dinosaur egg in the middle, just at the cusp of this popcorn transaction. Understand? Now you are coming out and you're covered in all of this disgusting fluid, whatever it is containing. I don't know. And you just happen to have a gun. That's
Holding a weapon.
that evolution. You've got to survive. And, when survival of the fittest kicks in, eventually, a million years down the road, we're probably all going to have nukes in our butts when we are born. So
Yeah.
that's just how the world works. So you don't want to be dino-dicked by a
No.
giant hashtag Drake dino. I guess Drake has formed some kind of deal with
Yeah.
these black dinosaurs on the east side.
It has to
Maybe
be.
something to do with a new record that's coming out. I'm not sure what Drake is up to at the moment.
He's
Maybe,
never gonna die, so I could see this happening.
Yeah.
but your elegant white dinosaur master race, they need their popcorn. So you have to find an agreement now between these two races so that the sexton can end peacefully, but everybody also still gets popcorn.
Yeah.
What
So-
can we do here? We have to take this to
mean,
the president, obviously.
Yeah.
This is rough because we have a poor economy situation here. They have a monopoly on the resources, so we need to figure out a way to get that economy going. But I'm guessing people are having trouble getting work. Like the fields, you can't get good crops from them, obviously in our area. So we need some tech or something. So do we?
Somebody invent.
I don't know. Do we start taxing more so we can
I mean,
together,
we're
like,
already giving a
programs.
human life in exchange for, well, a dino life, excuse me.
I know. It's just
Popcorn
need-
filibuster.
I mean, let's be honest about it. This is sexual slavery. All right, let's just
Yeah.
lay it out on the table. I know it's I know it's hard to think
Nobody
about,
wants to say it. You know.
but we all know that we love popcorn. It's very important to us, and we're willing to do whatever we have to get a hold of this popcorn. So maybe we can have some amnesty delivered to the people who have given up their children to these black dinosaurs to be, destroyed. Let's just use that word. In order to get popcorn, we have to find some kind of compromise here.
yeah.
we need our own version of like Franklin D. Roosevelt. That's what we need.
Now,
Yeah.
where is Orville
That's what I'm
Redenbacher
thinking.
in all of this? I feel like
They kind of look the same.
we're missing a big player in the whole popcorn scenario. We need some kind of overhead that has authority over the popcorn fields.
Jesus.
Do we try to bring up our resources, or do we just try to make our own popcorn? Like, get science involved. I mean, it's going to be synthetic or something, but I mean, they have 3D printers. Can we start printing popcorn?
I don't know. In this situation, it seems very primal. I don't know.
I mean, are you talking about counterfeit popcorn here, Nikon?
I mean, well, you don't have to tell the people. So here's the big cover up is we don't tell the people it's not real popcorn, but we get it close enough. And then over time, they forget what the good stuff tastes like. And then we don't have our dinos getting deed. So it's for the greater good, is what I'm
All
thinking.
right.
I
We've
mean,
analyzed this too much already. Thank you, Katie Zen. A little bit different style for Katie Zen this time. Obviously, the epic tale of Barndor has come to an end. But
Popgate.
yeah, Popgate. So, all right, guys, that is it for episode 174 of the KB Mod podcast. Thank you for watching, and we know a lot of you are downloading this podcast because we've had like 3,500 downloads or something in the last week. So we finally know what that number is. So cool. Thank you very much. And we'll be back next week. Same time. Actually, I don't know if we'll be back next week or not. Scott, are you watching the Super Bowl? Scott,
He's watching
think
it right
he's-
now.
I just got back. Back.
Are you watching the Super Bowl,
are
Scott?
you watching the Super Bowl next week? Is there a party going on there?
There probably will be a party at some point. Yeah.
All right.
We'll
You
probably get
watch
together for that.
football, Scott? I didn't know this was a thing.
And we
watched-
watched the
I
Super
watched the
Bowl at
Super
your
Bowl.
house last year. I remember
Yeah.
that.
That
It'll
just
probably be
sounds so weird
Hey,
to me. Like,
I
why
like
is the
my-
Super Bowl one of those things that people who don't have any interest in
I
football,
don't
they'll just
know.
put on?
No,
I
because
don't
it's
know.
well, if you have a party or if you're going to a party, you get a drink. It's an excuse to
Yeah.
eat and drink and just hang out with friends.
Well, you don't need the
Yeah.
Super Bowl to do that. Come on.
Well, like
It's
you can
just
do it
an event,
anyways,
man.
but other people who want to have parties or whatever or want to watch it, that way you can just join them and be like, yeah, that's
I
cool. I'll do that
guess.
too.
So anyway,
You don't have to watch
I mean,
it,
nobody
okay,
wants
Mark?
to come over to my place and watch CS:GO tournaments. I just
Maybe
want to have
someday.
friends.
We someday we'll live in a world where that'll be a thing, man.
so not sure if we're gonna have a podcast next week, but I do know that whenever we do have the next podcast, Dave Oshry will be on it. So,
Okay.
yeah, expect that. So we'll see if we're having one next week or not. We'll let you know throughout the week. Make sure you're following KB Mod Gaming on Twitter, as well as following this channel on Twitch. Big thanks to Mark for coming on. He hadn't been on in a while, so good to have him back.
I'm sorry.
Come
I was
on,
gone
man.
for a while. It's okay.
But yeah, Mark is back. You can follow him at All Sham No Wow, and that's on all mediums for him. Thanks, Linz, for coming on this week.
For having me.
He is on Twitch at ZMurray87. Yes,
Correct. That's me.
and at Linz Washburn on Twitter. APL, you all know APL. Shout out his stuff.
Nice, Dan. Wow. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
APL Fisher on everything.
Yep.
He's one of those lucky people who got the same. Him and Mark.
Except
handle.
Facebook, because my Facebook page is so active, so I'm so sad about that. Yeah, that was the only one. Yeah.
And Mark, aka Nikon Punch again on everything:
Oh.
Twitter, Twitch, YouTube.
Nikon Punch.
I am Nipnops on Twitch, Nipnops TV on Twitter. You follow me there, and follow everybody. And we shall be back next week, same time, same place, possibly if the Super Bowl doesn't swallow us. We'll see. But yeah, make sure you check out kmod.com during the week. Thanks for watching, and we shall return. Later, guys.
Later.
Yatta!